Well, everybody, another Tuesday night, another Onomatopoeia. This is episode 15, I think we're on now.
The big 1-5.
Crazy.
I can't believe how many of these we've done.
Way too many.
So many weeks of our lives wasted.
This is the last episode of the Onomatopoeia podcast.
Oh, no.
No,
We have lots more.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, as always, we have kind of our core group today, starting on the end over there.
Austin Sanders.
And I'm Evan Brixey.
I'm Justin Faro.
And I'm still Nick Milness.
I kind of want to dive into this. Book-wise, we have a lot of information to talk about. So I kind of want to talk about at the beginning, just random comic book questions I kind of pondered this week, just to get these out of the way. And I don't know if I'm the only one in our circle that kind of does this, but are there any books that you guys don't like to read monthly that you read in trades? Like, there's a lot of books I noticed that story-wise, they don't work as well as a monthly. I mean, when a writer writes them, he writes them in a row, and I feel like I need to have 5 issues to understand what's going on.
I would see like some of the lesser-known properties be doing that, like Cyborg. I'd say, honestly, I'd wait till a trade came out so that way I know everything that's going on, because they have a lot of new characters that I have no clue who the hell they are.
Yeah.
Like, who is the new one, like Mainframe and Firewire? I had to laugh a minute because there's a character named Firewire in that. And I was like,
I have not read any Cyborg.
Yeah,
I read like one issue.
I remember when Firewire. Do you remember when Firewire used to be the shit, like with computers and stuff?
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
I've got
I've got like a box of Firewire cables.
I was gonna say, back in when we used DV, man, that was good stuff. All this digital shit nowadays, I don't know.
Change.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, does anyone even read trades, or am I the only one that buys those?
I used to read them like whenever they would come out, but since I've started switching over to monthly, I just read monthly. I hardly ever do trades. I thumb through them if they're at Books A Million or like Target or something. But
I'll read like if I feel like reading something that's like 10 years old.
Where that's the only way you can get a hold of it.
Yeah, like the hardback covers, like what I do with
just easier that way.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't read Tynesha's Black Panther in monthly. I have to have like 4 issues of it because it's so dense. Harrow County reads like I feel it's not even a comic at a point, it's a short story. And I have to have it like that. But then another thing
I was going to say, I didn't anything that breaks away from episodic, like this issue is its own thing. Anything that has actual good story arcs, it's almost always better to read as a trade for me. But the titles that I follow are usually titles I can't wait for.
You mean on an impatience level?
Yeah, on a patience level.
Yeah, I feel that too.
But it's the same for like binge watching television shows. Like I don't need to sit and watch one whole season of X-Files because X-Files is episodic. But like for Daredevil and like Luke Cage and those, I binge. Like I will watch half of the series at once.
I cannot do that.
I do it instead of sleeping. That's how I do it. So.
Narcolepsy is a problem, and I suffer from that too, Evan. You're not alone. No,
but you,
I guess it'd be insomnia.
Too?
My mistake. Insomnia.
I also fall asleep randomly and can't sleep. So
because of the insomnia.
Yes.
So do you binge?
Yeah, I do. I was gonna say I binge a lot of Netflix stuff usually.
Hey, have you
Not
started?
Really.
I was talking to Evan earlier. Have you started American Gods?
No.
Okay. Curious.
Breaking Bad not Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul ended last night, and it was pretty good.
Which is a show that I binge, so
yeah.
I'm going to sit down and watch all of it over
if you have
2
cable,
days.
You can watch it on AMC online.
It's second
or
season
whatever.
at this point, right?
Third season.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the first 2 were really good.
Third
this
one's
is not
good
the
too.
Better Call Saul podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
Talking Saul.
All right, 2 more things I want to kind of go on. And you were talking about like reading books at Books A Million. And by the way, no fried pie. I snuck in there today to see if I got any issues in.
Can you speak to a manager about it? Like,
no.
I'd like to speak to your manager, please.
Diamond selects what
God.
stores get them, sadly.
oh, okay.
But yeah, nothing this week and nothing last week. Or was last week Darth Vader? I got a Darth Vader fried pie.
Yeah, that was last week.
It's pretty badass, actually. So
Okay.
we still got a few of those left.
I was looking that up online, and apparently you can like start a petition to request your store carry them or whatever. I know Books A Million has one carrier.
Yeah.
But I guess you have to really show that you want it in your area for it to
and
be provided.
For a long time we get a lot more, but and it's fun, but they're $4 to $5 more than a regular issue would be, which is insane. But digital versus physical. I, there are so many ads in physicals. There's something I like about physicals, like just sitting there and holding it in my hand. I mean, obviously, everyone will have that debate, but digitally reading them, when I can just use I know it sounds almost lazy, but when I can use my finger to tap, when I get really excited, I'm like burning through an issue, and I'm not like turning the page. There's no advertisements. It's like I feel more.
It's a lot more streamlined.
Story. Yeah,
digitally.
And I feel like I'm in the story more. I feel like I'm distracted with the ads and shit.
It's kind of like the music industry, sort of. I mean, I love vinyl records. I mean, I love being able to physically hold something, to read the art and everything on it, to have all that. But at the same time, I understand that it's going to sound better digitally. I love studio process things. I can't really stand the live shows or whatever. But, whenever it's polished as best it can is how I would like to hear it. And so it's
that's a good way to put
it. It's kind of both. I mean, I
guess that's why I buy physical issues is to frame them
and the nostalgia kind of with it too. Like that's the traditional way to enjoy a comic book. But you do have to sift through a lot of fucking ads, which is ridiculous.
It's crazy for some of these issues. When you have like annuals, it's like $6.99.
Yeah.
That's an insane price.
Well, it's because they're like 100 pages counting the
and I mean
ads
how much
everything.
color goes into it as well. But,
yeah. True.
Now again, I broke out some of my old comic books. It's not like there weren't ads in the 90s.
Oh no,
there definitely
were.
the
90s ads were the worst.
I would say there's actually more.
Yeah, there were. Because I was flipping through, and there was an ad for Fox Kids, and then a couple pages later there was an ad for Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then a couple pages later there's an ad for Game Boy Pocket, not Game Boy Color, not
Jesus
Game Boy, but
Christ.
Game Boy Pocket.
The one in between that no one cared about.
That no one cared about at all.
The one that they made the Game Boy camera for.
Yes.
that is awesome.
But I think I got to weigh in here, especially because if nobody's buying the physical issues, comics dies.
And I think that's why DC did at $2.99 a month price.
Yeah, they have to pull it down because their stories are really good. Their quality,
their core
great.
books are still that price.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, the quality has definitely gone up, but the readership has actually gone down. I guess it's because of society now.
Yeah.
Well, you would think Marvel
prefer...
would do the same thing, because if you're looking at the DC stand and the Marvel stand, well, the DC clearly has a better price on them, and then you see Marvel, there was some issues that had like $4.99, $5.99.
They have a lot of $4.99 price points.
They have a lot of the movies to back them up too, though, because they have pretty much
that's where
free
the money comes
advertising.
from.
It's a 2.5 hour
has
comic book ad.
Almost double the amount of books out right now than DC. That's why we're getting such good DC stories, and every week Evan and I usually drop a title that we're reading because these Marvel books aren't holding up because these authors and pencilers are under.
Fast.
Yeah, they don't have enough time. But when these DC books can kind of breathe a little bit, you can really get the attention needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think about the nostalgia.
The TLC,
element.
the tender love and care.
I think comics could survive in a completely digital frame. Like you go pay your
$10
$10 a month and you get all your comics. But
yeah,
if that happens, if it switches over to entirely that, they're not being printed anymore, then that could happen. But I think actually it will happen eventually. But when it does, it's only going to be the worst of Marvel, and it's only going to be the worst. It's the shit that we complain about and that we hate is what's going to be printed.
Nah.
Or not printed, but put out.
I think there's enough dedication fan-wise that there won't ever be.
They don't give a shit about fans, especially Marvel. They've proven that over the past 12 months.
Okay, Marvel,
they
yes,
have.
but like I feel, and maybe it's because I don't know. I don't think we'll get a bad Superman or Batman book. I think that the people that write them are.
Did you read 90s Superman?
I'm knocking on wood
Okay,
right now.
There's at one point in time, Superman had a mullet.
After
the last 10 years, maybe.
After the Reign of the Superman arc is whenever it started to get a little crazy.
Okay, yes. Evan, I own every one of those issues. I almost own every trade paperback of Superman. That's probably my biggest collection. And yes,
Good for you.
When Red and Blue comes out, did anyone read? You know what? I don't even want to talk about this.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Okay, that's what
we're talking about. Crazy shit that went on in the 90s and 2000s.
I have to hide that stuff. I'm like, well, he didn't do that. Like, put that Superman in the corner.
And that's kind of what they're doing with Rebirth.
This is a random.
They're taking those parts and be like, okay, yeah.
This is a random book. I have two things I want to just throw out there for if anyone's listening, and just for my compadres here. There's this really cool book series they did, and I've got it's like 12 issues, and I've got the trade of it. They did this book called The Kents, and it's about
The Western?
yes.
I love the Kents.
It's a fucking like.
Oh,
it's-
is that the one about like his family?
Yes.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking
What a
about.
fucking good book.
That was awesome.
And it's just like I think we need more originality like that. And for listeners, it's this cool story that it's like Evan said, it's a very westerny vibe, but it's about Clark Kent, mom and pa Kent's all their kin.
Descendants, yeah.
And it's a fun book, man.
Ancestors.
And thank you, thank you, Evan.
I don't know. I was just kind of reading over it again the other day. and
slipping
just
on the words
really
tonight.
Enjoying it. Another thing I want to before we jump into this books, there's a guy I just want to, and we'll have to hashtag him or add him, but his name is Troy Piet. I'm gonna say this wrong probably. Piteri. It's Peter with an I.
Troy Petery.
Troy Patery.
I think it's Piteri, and he's the letterer of the book Evan
Maybe
and I
like Pater?
read called Hadrian's Wall.
Okay, yeah,
Oh.
I know you guys have been talking about Hadrian's Wall a lot.
But I was going back on that last dish, and I was like, all I could focus on is how it was handwritten, like styled. And I was like, it just kept like I wasn't even focused on the story. I was like, damn, this is really cool. And then I realized something. He does my Dynamite does a Dark Shadows book,
oh yeah.
and he does the lettering for that too.
Oh,
and-
cool.
I just feel that this is it's actually something I would like to pursue in existence is being a letterer because I think it's an art form that's not really acknowledged.
Oh no, it is. I've actually had discussions with my younger brother about that too. I'm thinking it's like, do they actually have professional letterers that come in and do that, or I always
There's
thought
multiple ways.
I've
yeah,
always
but-
thought that it's been like a font, but now, the more that I've searched for that, it's got to be original. I mean, I'm sure they have like some kind of vectoring that they do with it, but still,
For sure. And
like-
I just want to say that this guy is definitely doing his job, and he's only got a Twitter page. So I mean, that's the
not
only thing
even
I
a
could,
WordPress.
like. That's what. See, I was trying to find like something I could get attached to this guy. Like, I want to see what work he's
He's
doing.
probably got a GeoCities page at least.
He might be on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that guy, he needs more representation because I don't feel we always talk about authors and
Yeah.
stuff, but the lettering is actually a very poignant piece for what we're doing because I mean,
That's the words.
yeah, I mean that
Here's to you, letterers.
for sure. But all right, so we want to talk about the as we always title it the NTB2s,
The NTB2s.
or do we want to go into Marvel or DC?
Let's do the NTB2s. Since there's
not
less
the
of
big
those.
two.
Did anyone read Winnebago Graveyard?
I did.
No.
I actually
No.
like that fucking book. I thought that was really
was metal as
interesting.
fuck.
It was really cool.
Okay, no.
It was goofy and
I saw that like at the first of it. I liked it when the dude came out of himself. I'm free. I was like, what the fuck is
know.
going on?
I want to state this. I don't know what's happening in this book.
No, I
have
don't either.
no concept, but
I
I'm
don't-
gonna read the second issue.
I mean, it was just weird enough. And okay, so kind of what's going on in this book, it just kind of happens all of a sudden. They have a couple, I guess, that were in a hotel together, and there's like a cult who sacrificed them, saying that they were going to release their true form or whatever. So, they don't spare any detail. They show this guy getting eviscerated, but then it's not even him. It's another guy. It's God apparently coming out of him.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's apparently God comes out. He kills the
he's-
woman that he's with, and then it transitions to like I think how many is there? 3 or 4 people. They're at some kind of freak show fair, and they're just talking about, oh, this is great, blah 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 blah, and then they go on the road and they, I guess, encounter.
I mean, basically, this cult is building into, I guess, bring people in to rebirth these deities or something.
Yeah.
Is what I'm guessing they're doing.
Yeah,
But no, like you said, one of the craziest thing was that this guy self-sacrificed for the admittance of.
oh no, it wasn't self-sacrifice. He
Well, no, he gave himself. I mean,
Oh.
he like. I mean, like he was like
oh, I
you
was
can-
gonna say
you can
this
do
this
it.
dude, he was getting held against his will. I'm pretty sure.
on the
but-
first guy.
Yeah, the first guy, I'm pretty sure.
It's just I just didn't.
But yeah, anyways, so they're at like a freak show, and then they go on the road, and I guess there's like a truck that passes them or something. So they turn back, and everybody from the freak show's gone. So I don't know if this is like some kind of like ancient.
It's a ghost freak show.
We'll see.
We'll see the mystery machine pull up soon.
But no, I don't know. Kind of weird, wacky. I don't know. We read some of these books that I don't know if
The mystery of the kooky cultists.
there's nothing there. I really like the first issue of this
I don't want
book.
to be in the graveyard.
The second, You said you read the second issue only.
Of
There's nothing there.
yeah.
It's
I
just
didn't
blank
know
pages.
what the hell was
No.
going on.
There's nothing there. It's this book about a female star, a celebrity.
Oh, I thought you meant like a gas, like a ball of flaming gas.
No, and
out there in the universe.
basically, this is by Black Mask, who I always
It's
try
a
to.
fart.
That's another person I want to rep is Black Mask because 50% of their stuff is a little rough around the edges, but they've also got a lot of
50%
good
of their
stuff.
stuff is close to unreadable.
But there's a celebrity and she kind of goes to kind of same thing. She goes to this weird like place and there's sacrifice, but this one's like a sex party, and
Like all celebrities go to.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
If you read Hellblazer,
she starts seeing like images of humans appear to her, and then kind of goes to like transdimensional areas, and like, but people think that she's just fucking flipping on the streets, and paparazzis are like nailing her with like pictures like losing her mind, blah blah blah, and then she's like trying to deal with the situation, and now we're trying to slowly find out why she's seeing these visions, because she went to this party of like this sacrificial like sexual thing, and I don't know, it's like actually it's kind of like old Hellblazer, like in the story format. I mean, art wise and things like that, it's different, but I don't know, it's a fun book. Fun is not the word. It's an interesting book. And then I was just talking to these guys about Kill the Minotaurs, a new telling of Theseus's story. And it's cool.
Does it have that 300 feel to it, like over the top?
Sort
blood?
of.
It was not over the top.
It has really pretty visuals. I mean,
Yes.
the art in it was really tight. I
I will
liked
say
it.
one of the coolest things in it was like they like bring out the roasted pig.
Oh yeah, and then the Minotaur sitting there.
Yeah, there's the leader, the head of the table.
It's like
sitting
King
there,
Aegeus,
like
or who is it?
with what?
Is it King Aegeus or who is it?
No, well, yeah,
can't
he's
remember.
whoever the Mycenaean,
Okay.
or excuse me, the Cretan
Okay.
king is supposed to be, and he's got like a steel fucking minotaur,
like
like
hood.
yeah, it's so awesome looking.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, all I could think about is how cool it looked.
And
then
they-
they bring out this roast pig, and
They take the-
unveil it, and instead of an apple in its mouth, it's a head
Of the
and then-
king.
and then they take off this thing, and it's like a severed head.
Yeah, it's
Like
just,
that's been sitting at the table, propped up.
It
Like, you
was-
thought he was like very poised and stuff.
it's
and I was-
very crazy. Yeah.
So I mean, that was a cool visual.
Now, is that, because that sounds pretty interesting, and I was only able to find it in hard copy. Is that going to be a 1 month issue, or?
Yeah. The only bi-monthly issues will be DC, and
Okay.
I think that's actually going to come to an end pretty soon. I don't think Action, Super, Detective, or Bat are going to actually.
Well, especially since they're setting these
They're
big
building
events,
these big events.
and like they're
Because
being sent
September's
like
when everything's really dropping hot.
and like August, September, November, and that's a lot of stories to put in between there and now. Which if they're starting to plant seeds now,
And
there's not much they can do to
And
keep
another thing
going
we need
on.
to discuss, I mean,
without it being
about
filler.
I mean, we're going to jump into DC in a second, but
Yes, we are.
We're getting to the point where these fucking books, they can't. Marvel and DC don't keep writers around for usually more than like 30 issues. I mean, we're getting to the point where we're going to get new teams on all these books that we talk so highly of.
Next week's 25.
Yeah,
Damn,
it is.
it really
yeah.
is, isn't it?
Well, hopefully, DC is going to see that these writers are putting out good content and try
care,
and keep them.
and care
Yeah.
about them.
maybe not all of them.
Well, not all of them, but
I'm gonna fast forward a couple of these. Space Riders: Galaxy of Brutality. I talked highly of it the first issue.
what is that about? I couldn't
I
find
have
that.
no fucking clue, and I've read it twice. It's just a fucking crazy space book with the craziest art I've ever seen. This book, I like. They're saying words, and I like acknowledge that they're saying words. I just don't know what they're, because every character looks different too. So like, it's like, what if you did like a book about everyone in the Star Wars cantina? Like every character in there was talking, and you're like trying to follow the story. Like that's how I feel about it. Like I just like not the main characters, just like all the background ones. But it's so insane on art. It's worth reading. Maybe I'll get it. Like I said, maybe it's one of those trade paperback books that when I sit down and read the whole story, I'm like, get my head around it.
There you go.
Grass
make
Kings
sense.
4. Did you give up on that book, Evan?
I didn't give up. I just didn't read this issue.
I
Okay.
couldn't find it.
It was. I don't have a problem with the series. It's just very.
What's it about?
Grass Kings is about.
I thought it at the beginning was post-apocalyptic, and it's apparently not.
It makes it seem. It wants you to think kind of like it's some kind of weird post-apocalypse, but it's actually this weird. these people who the very first part of the story is they're showing this tradition of this land and violence surrounding this area, and that anytime somebody takes over new ownership of the land, they have to kill the previous inhabitants. And it shows like
Yeah.
an Indian, like a Native American, killing animals, and then it shows different Native Americans killing that Native American, and then it shows pilgrims coming up and being like,
It's kind of like if
It's
you want to
sacred.
get a promotion at your job, you have to kill your boss and take his place. Now I'm the boss.
now I'm the boss.
Actually, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but instead it's these for over ownership of this land, and these people, they're kind of like modern day. If anybody's seen those videos of the people that say that they won't give the cops they're called themselves freemen on the land, and they reference the articles of Confederation, which went out of
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
which went out of practice, 200 years ago. But they're like these people. They live in this town. They're like, this is our sovereign nation. We live here. We don't pay taxes. And that's kind of what it is.
And
Except it's actually interesting instead of being like stupid.
no,
I was gonna say Far Cry 5 comes
they've
out
got
in
some
like
characters
what, a
that
few
you-
months now, but yeah, it's like
good characterizations too.
yeah, good characters. I mean, it's a good story. It's got that kind of painted a vibe to it.
Yeah, like watercolor.
Yeah, watercolor on white. Like watercolor on whites.
So cool art. I don't know. Kind of
Pick it up if you want to look at some pretty books and interesting story.
I'm gonna 2 books. I'll just say quick things about Black Cloud 3 and Regression 2.
Are you done with Black Cloud yet?
It's so. I feel like I will like this book eventually.
Has anything happened? Anything of substance happened?
I think I read a regression. I can't remember.
No, nothing has happened. Well, nothing story wise has happened. They keep adding more things to it. So if you didn't understand what was happening, you still don't. Well, maybe you know what? Maybe I'm just unintelligent. It's really a cool book because it's like these crazy trip sequences. Interesting power sets with this one female, but I don't want to go into details. All I want to say is Blackout 3 is actually like most of the time I read 2 issues and I can kind of feel it out, and I have not for this, and I'm still intrigued. So Regression is a Cullen Bunn book. This is the 2nd issue, and it's another horror book. We already talked about Unsound last week.
That was really
This
good.
book right here is just he's writing some really good horror. Now I'm glad to see him back because that's kind of where his start is. So seeing him do these books,
It wasn't bad. I haven't read the first one, so I kind of don't know where to go.
well, right now none of us really know. That's the thing about these not the big 2 books. They're not as friendly, reader friendly. Where you almost have to read an entire 6 issues before you know what's.
Post high school.
Well, that's the thing
kinda-
is they're not written as comic books. They're written as stories that happen to be comic books. So it's just if it comes out monthly, you
their
could go
graphic
pick up
novels just not long enough to be graphic.
You could go pick up an issue of Superman or Batman or Spider-Man, and if they're not in the middle of a weird arc,
Like
you're
Nick
going to be
said,
fine.
They have those awesome introductory pages.
And then they have the introductory pages
I love
for
those.
Marvel.
Oh,
then,
Marvel. Thank you.
But yeah, for these introductory pages aside, they're not. That's not how they're meant to be sold. It's meant you have to buy it on purpose. You don't impulse buy Regression issue
The
3
game
by
is meant to
Cullen
be
Bunn.
told, not sold. Yeah. Gotcha.
But then 2 more books to talk about. Then we got the deep shit. Nick, did you read Planet of the Apes: Green Lantern 5?
I read the last one.
Not your thing.
I read it and I was seeing all this stuff and I was just singing the Dr. Zayas song the whole time I was reading it. And then at
Classic
the end,
Simpsons.
Gorilla Grodd was there, and I was like, "Oh fuck! I knew this was happening."
This whole issue was just Grodd controlling everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it wrote itself. It's like, oh, seriously? But
it
so I
gives
wasn't
them
too impressed.
every trope you want it to
I
give
mean,
into.
I like Star Trek Green Lantern more, personally.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But-
This one, Sinestro. My favorite thing about Trek Green Lantern and now this Planet of the Apes Green Lantern is that Sinestro is still the hero in every one of them.
Well, Sinestro's great.
Sinestro
I love
is.
Sinem.
I would have to say. I mean, Supes and Aqua's always been like my favorite, but Sinestro is just. He's my Doctor Doom because he's always like he's not really bad. I mean, he does horrible things when he needs to do.
That's the best thing about these villains who have reason behind it and think they're doing right, and you kind of are thinking at the same time maybe it's okay just this one time or something.
Yeah,
like
and then it just
he's
keeps
doing.
growing.
Yeah.
I think Sinestro is one of the least justifiable villains.
No.
Is it because the Snidely Whiplash mustache?
Well, yes, it's because he has the finally
the most awesome
forehead.
And his name is literally Sinestro.
Yeah. His name, he might as well be Mr. Sinister. No,
I love it.
I don't.
Which that's something we're gonna have to talk about, by the way.
Oh yeah,
fucking Mrs. Sinister.
Foreshadowing.
What book is that? X Blue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I just gave up.
You didn't even put it on the list. Put it on the fucking list. I read that shit. I love that book.
You should text me what you read too. I just put up what I've read.
Well, put it on the list. Okay.
I just read what you guys put on the blog.
That's why I need his list. All right. Before we talk about that, one last thing. All I gotta say is they wrapped up Betty and Veronica, issue 3. It's Archie shit. But there's just the best part about this is they had plotted this giant thing and it's like this big school dance and they made this explosion and all it looked like is that blood was raining from the sky and everyone was soaked in red and it was just a scene of like Betty and Veronica just dripping like what looked like blood and everyone screaming that it's blood and it was just punch. But it was the best thing in the world that these characters that I know as Betty and Veronica, like sweet little like Betty and a little angsty Ronnie are just soaked in blood and they're just like standing there
like Carrie.
It makes you think they're gonna like start using psionic powers or something.
I was just like
it's
as an Archie fan, I was like, this is a cool little ending, like to just have it kind of brutal. But enough about all this stuff. I've probably
my favorite cameo. My favorite. I literally just forgot their names. Veronica and Betty thing ever was their cameo in the Sabrina comic. That one issue.
Oh yeah,
where they did the ritual and then there's like, we'll just never talk about this again.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have made that better about the blood dripping and everything, like they're doing all that, and then you just see Archie come in, like throw open the doors, hey everybody, whoa, I'm getting the fuck out of here, and then just turn right around. No, you just like there's a panel of him walking in, and then just the reverse of him walking out.
These books have actually been really good. The Riverdale book that follows the show is obviously more campy, but the actual Archie, the Betty Veronica book, they're a little more serious tone. The Jughead book's a jokey book.
Well, when he's not a werewolf.
Well, yeah, dude, that was a fucking killer book.
The mainline Archie book is very middle of the road. It's very appealing. I'm not an Archie fan, and I liked that. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
So Marvel, DC. What are we gonna? You want to end with DC since we just have so much shit to talk about, or Marvel? So
might as well. Let's just jump into Marvel. Since
I'm gonna go at the top of my list right now. That I'm looking at Black Panther and the Crew 3. Did anyone read it?
No.
I glanced through it. I didn't get a chance to read it. Okay. What's going on in this one?
Evan and I talked about this earlier. Earlier on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of started rough. There's a problem in Harlem, and the only way to solve it.
It's the most generic, like blaxploitation. There's a problem in Harlem, baby.
I'm gonna explain it, and Evan's gonna do a deep voice version of it.
You just did the opening line from Ice Ice Baby. If there's a problem, you all solve it. Check out this beat while my DJ revolves it. I love it.
I almost don't want to keep going because it's just gonna sound worse. My description of it.
I hated the first issue. I thought it was terrible.
Well,
again, it's just assembling all the black characters in Marvel just to assemble. I mean, like I get that they're trying to solve like problems, but do they have to be black? I get that it's Harlem, but do they have to be all black? Like,
they're the only. Now this is where I say it's getting better. Is they kind of address this with. The only reason, like, you got a fucking character like Storm, who is technically a goddess at a point. Like,
yeah, she's a deity level.
She's an underused, really good character.
Is she an Omega level mutant? I can't.
She is Omega. Yeah, she is.
Okay.
Yeah, because she can. Yeah.
And then you've got Manifold. Who, and then you got T'Challa.
Mm-hmm. I mean, these are all really good characters individually.
And keep in mind, Storm is kind of like reunited with with T'Challa. Like, they had their separation after they were, married. Basically, the only reason they're helping out in this situation is because they're helping out a friend. They realize shit's bad, and because you don't need Manifold to go to fucking Harlem. Manifold, is almost a cosmic being at a point. He can travel wherever he needs to.
He's Cloak. Is basically who he is.
He's a lot stronger than Cloak.
Well, but, I'm just saying,
that same
not,
sort of
not
level,
as popular,
yeah. But I don't know. I think this is now the series was canceled after the second issue. But
that's why I was surprised. I thought when the books cancel, they're done.
No.
But
it's a finished 6 issues, so they can do a trade.
Oh,
that's how they make the money.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
learned something today.
I'm interested to see where this goes. And these are characters I like, so I like to see their interactions. But I gotta say, there's not really action in this book.
No, it's just a lot of
it's a lot of talking about the difficulties, and that's what Tynish does. He's a social writer. He writes for newspapers and things like that.
Well, here's my big thing is based off of the story from the first and second ones. The problem they're trying to solve is that some guy died in jail that shouldn't have been. It's the whole Black Lives Matter thing in a comic book, but why the fuck do you need stories? Is she gonna shoot lightning at like take that, police? Like what's what?
I hate to say this. I'm sounding kind of lame, but it's almost for moral support because everything's so heavy on them, and they feel that not only are they powered beings, but they're
black powered beings.
Okay, you know what? Austin's gonna shut up on this issue because I like this for stupid reasons. Not stupid reasons. I understand this book is not for the audience. Like, I'm not the audience this book is for.
It's intended to get more African American readdership. Obviously,
yes,
is what they're doing.
But it's cool because they are the characters I like.
Yeah,
and
I like all of those characters.
It's just, but like Evan said, but this ain't a punch book.
That's fine. It's cool. It'd be awesome if it was a very like introspective or retrospective
and it
type
didn't take
of book.
place in Harlem.
If it was like an Illuminati type thing.
It could take place in Harlem, but the thing that needs to happen is investigation, which Storm or even T'Challa aren't necessarily known for.
Yeah,
if we're gonna do that, it would just be a Misty Knight, Luke Cage.
It needs to be a Misty Knight, Luke Cage, and nobody the fuck else.
I could see Black Panther being in there, like, because he has like stealthy type
I don't know
stuff.
if anyone ever read this series. It was one of my favorite ones. When Matt Murdock had to lay low for a while because his identity was revealed, and T'Challa took over as the Daredevil of Hell's Kitchen.
This isn't Danny doing that.
No,
that
he did that in Civil War.
Oh.
This is a couple years later. Like,
this seems like
this
this
is
has happened
around
a
Fear
lot.
itself.
Okay. I may have read a wiki article on that. I don't remember.
Check that out. It's worth. I mean, the wiki article. I don't know if you want to read the book because
check out the wiki article.
But no, it was an interesting thing because
the trade back.
He didn't understand necessarily the operations of Hell's Kitchens versus Wakanda, and I thought that was a cool thing because as powerful and knowledgeable as this guy was, he was like, "What the fuck am I like? How do I control this?"
Yeah, he's more dealing with like just interlopers stealing vibranium as opposed to like street level thugs in Hell's Kitchen.
It's a neat thing. But let's move on to something I think most of us have something to talk about. Old Man Logan 25. If you don't know,
that was interesting.
Jeff
Lemire
really was the writer of Old Man Logan 1 through 24. Bendis did the Secret Wars Old Man Logan. Mark Millar did the
original
first one. Yeah. So we just started a new arc with Old Man Logan 25, and fucking Ed Brisson, the guy that does our Iron Fist book and the Bullseye books to talk about, started this.
Days of Anger Part 1.
Fucking killed it. I love this book, and all I can say is I almost want to have to hashtag this guy too. I don't think this guy gets enough credit. Like, these books, like, as soon as I finished this, I was like, he brought the spirit of Miller back in.
Justin, you want to tell him kind of what happens in this, like a brief synopsis of what's going on with it?
Well, it pretty much starts off with Logan going into a diner, and then he knows right off the bat something's up, and it turns out that the Hulk clan has taken over. Actually, before that,
I smiled so big when I saw that.
It's pretty much a mountain view of an old guy talking to a bunch of little kids, being called Pappy and stuff, and talking about how that there's people out there trying to kill him, trying to kill them, so they always have to be on the run. And I guess it's taking place. All this is taking place in Canada.
Okay.
Right
in Logan's backyard.
Yeah, and it has Logan going to a diner, and it's been taken over by the Hulk clan trying to fool him, and everyone that's run that diner is slaughtered in the back.
Oh, that was brutal when I saw that. That was
and I guess the one guy from the last run-in with the Hulk clan, Billy Bob, was there.
I love the names. I love them.
He's the pacifist of the group. He doesn't want to fight. He's the wuss, I guess. And they go into this huge fight. And of course, Logan kicks all their ass. And there's a quote that was so good from, I didn't write down the name, but there's more of us than there are wrinkles on your ass. As soon as I read that, I'm like, you know what? I'm writing that down.
That's so good.
Oh,
man.
But yeah, the coolest part of the fight was the leader of the Hulk clan. They'd all just got their asses kicked. And Logan was going back to confront Billy Bob, who had retreated back into the diner. And the guy picks up the grease, where the deep fryer, and pours it over Logan.
Like a Friday the 13th type thing.
Not like that.
You didn't? Did you feel that?
It looks so cool. Like his like skin was all fried and had grease everywhere, and still he was fighting. And
that's awesome.
Deep fried Logan.
Yeah.
God.
And then he found out that this was
Wolverine on a stick.
this was the group that was supposed to bring the transport to this compound where there's like a whole group or cult of Hulk followers or people that can Hulk out. And that's where it kind of ends up.
And I guess kind of the big thing is they're alluding to like the Maestro is the one leading him, right?
Yes.
Pretty much? Okay, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Austin agrees.
And I think there was like one more fight scene. I can't remember, but
I think like the Maestro was getting mad at one of the... It was Billy Bob.
It was Billy
Yeah,
Bob.
Yeah.
And...
But yeah, just the Maestro coming into that kind of landscape is just awesome. I mean, I've been a big Maestro fan. I mean, I like him when he really was more just like an alternate reality type rather than like actual canon.
The last couple of years he's been like that.
Yeah, which is cool. I don't mind. I mean, I liked him in Secret Wars, and I like that they're throwing everybody around now. But I mean, it's cool. I'd like to see where it's going.
I really just like bringing back the Miller characters.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this book is called The Old Man Logan. It's fucking awesome. And it's funny. Lemire's last little arc of Logan going through time was cool. But when this hit, I was like, wow, this really has that spirit. This is like one of those like explicit content books back again, And I feel this Brixey guy just gets action without. He doesn't have to. We don't need so much dialogue. We still get romance a little bit, or not romance. There's love in the book, like Logan. Definitely. It's just interesting all the stuff he kind of encompasses. I'm gonna save that for later. Did anyone read Weapon X 4?
I did.
I don't want to sound like a dick, but I'm kind of done with this series. I would actually say that what was the book I read this week? All New Wolverine 21 is what Weapon X was supposed to be. Did you read All New Wolverine?
I don't read that book. I don't like it. I don't like New Laura.
Yeah, I forget that you don't. I forgot about that. But so I'm gonna bring it up so I can tell you what I'm talking about. But so what did you think about Weapon X? Is this a book that's appealing to you? I mean, Greg Pak is a great writer, but I just not really digging this book.
I think we're just getting started. I think that's the issue. I think it's slow on the upkeep, and I think it will even out and it will get better. But yeah, these first couple issues of Weapon X haven't been amazing. But
yeah, I was a little confused by what was going on and everything. I didn't know that they'd gotten captured or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's a Warpath and Lady Deathstrike got captured.
Yeah. Oh no, Domino. My mistake. I was thinking Lady Deathstrike.
Okay, Domino's one of my favorite characters. So, and she rolled in this.
She'd fit.
But so this is what I thought was cool. I was just explaining All New Wolverine 21.
I didn't get a chance to read that one.
They basically have to. Healing mutants have to kind of team up to save these people with diseases.
Okay.
But their team is Old Man Logan, Laura, Gabby, who is a clone of Laura.
The one with the little pet Wolverine.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then Dakin came back, and Deadpool.
Dakin's still around?
Dakin died.
I thought that they did away
like
with
what
Dakin.
they did with Echo. When I was talking about last week with Daredevil, apparently with this fucking Marvel Now, Volume 2, they just can bring characters back to life after Secret Wars.
Secret Wars just pretty much fucked everything and gave them
this is
license to do whatever they want.
Another universe that has now the main universe.
Okay, I was going to say, is this an alternate one?
They fucking snicked it up. I mean, you get these 4 characters. This is what if I was to write a Weapon X book, I want to see this. Like, these guys come in and they're fucking fighting people and they're saving lives too, and like it's
just
brutality
it's
with
Wolverine's
heart.
on parade,
which is really weird because Dakin is like a really fucked up bad guy villain,
a maniacal plot. Like
he is the sociopath, and it's he's made out with Bullseye. That's the only thing I remember from him.
Like, oh, that's the one thing you take away.
I don't know. Yeah, as far as all new Wolverine goes, I just don't like it.
I know you're not.
Do not like it,
and I will still stand by it. I like this book.
Lore is interesting, but they're gonna bring back regular Logan at some point. They will someday. Because I like Laura, but I prefer regular Wolverine. I'm just saying. That's just me.
I want, if I was to give what I would like Laura to be Wolverine and become more of what we knew as Logan. You know how Logan became like kind of he's a sage. I mean, he's been
around so many years.
Exactly.
He's like Cap. You know, he's your grandpa. You go to.
Because she is a good character, and I understand this run is kind of a little pro being like, I'm girl Wolverine, and I've got a sort of thing.
Yeah, Marvel's been doing that a lot.
But I feel
yeah,
I feel like Laura is a strong enough character that they could eventually make her. I don't have a problem with her being Wolverine.
They don't need to change her to do that, though. As they've taken her, I'm fine with her growing as a human. That's fine, because the past 10 years has been her being like, I am a trained to kill robot woman, no emotions, and now she's kind of got emotions figured out, and that's fine. But I can't even envision a future where she transforms at any point into behaving like Logan did. I don't. Without them just like.
I think if anything,
doing it.
They're probably going to turn her heel as a villain at some point with an arc when Logan comes back. She's going to be like the new Lady Deathstrike or something.
Write that down.
But yeah,
we currently have.
I can see it happening.
She's still kicking.
Kicking ass, and she's good. I like her.
Yeah, no, she's a fun character. She's never. I mean, she's always a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that sums up. Weapon X, not my bag.
I'm gonna give it one more. But I'm gonna keep reading.
I'm gonna give it one more issue.
It's like in the crew. They got a good cast, but they just
stories.
They're more like loners, so it's weird to see them working together.
You finish, and that's the one thing I got bummed out about this week. They ended my Kingpin's. My Kingpin
wrapped up.
Ended. It's like, all these series I keep I feel like I'm the fucking idiot because all these series I keep repping, like Nova, Scarlet Witch, Squadron Supreme, like, and then this fucking Kingpin series, they've all been ended.
I see a tear. There's a single tear rolling down his eye.
It's just upsetting that because these books are so quality.
Kingpin was really good, and this is the worst issue because it was rushed.
Now, this is what I want to say is the craziest thing. I don't know how the format you read it in, but mine ended with, don't forget, Kingpin's story doesn't end.
Yeah,
it continues in Doctor Strange.
Yeah. See his
what?
No, it was like see his appearance in Doctor Strange 21.
And that was like
they should have just put ooh at the end of it. Like, they might as well just have done that.
I was like,
he's on one page in Spider-Man 359. Check it out.
I just don't understand why guys, where should we drop Kingpin off? We've got this new Defender series. You know what? I don't think that works.
Okay.
Why would you do that?
I think Doctor Strange works the best.
And they're like, all right, Joey. He's like, thanks. And there's a guy that works at Marvel. If you guys don't know Joey, he just works in the bag of
He's very popular around the Marvel offices.
Okay.
We
you guys
just blame everything on Joey now.
Well, I definitely want to bring up to tangent a little bit. Not tangent. Segue. We're talking about Kingpin. Spider-Man video game preview at E3 this year had Kingpin. They had a little promo where the Spider-Man.
Can you play Kingpin?
No. We talked about this a little bit last podcast.
But yeah, he beats up some bad guys, Mr. Negative's goons, and then he picks up a dude's phone, and he's at a Wilson Fisk building.
Yeah,
and then he's calling Fisk, and Fisk is in prison, and he's just like, a Fisk, who are these guys' boss? He's like, you help me out, and maybe I'll tell you. And so it's Kingpin from prison, like coordinating his enterprises, And then Spider-Man's like, I can't believe I'm saving the bad guys from different bad guys. And it's just
It's typical Spider-Man shenanigans. It's great.
It was really good.
It looks like a really promising
Okay,
game.
now let me say this. What you just pitched to me, if that was a Spider book, I would read it.
Well,
Like I said, I've
yeah.
already stated multiple times, my Spider-Man is Miles. Or Spider-Gwen, which Evan is almost about to punch me.
We talked about it, and Pete reigns supreme,
But,
I'd
like,
say.
I will say, if you...
Gwen Stacy is dead.
And she had sex with Norman Osborn and had 2 twins with her. Those are things that they want you to forget. I'm not going to forget.
Wait, what?
Never forget.
Oh, you don't remember that? That apparently the Norman Osborn had sex with Gwen Stacy and had 2 secret kids?
And that is the end of Onomatopoeia. No, I did not know
I've got
that.
another Spider-Man fact for you, too. I'll tell you at the end of the podcast.
Let's before we'll talk about all the Secret Empire shit in a second, but I want to talk about I hate doing this. I do this fast forward thing, but Star Wars 32 is a continuation of Screaming Citadel,
Nah.
and I gotta say, some of the worst artwork I've ever seen in my
It's
life.
disgusting.
This fucking putting these pictures of fucking Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher onto someone's hard worked art, and it just looked
Makes you wonder when
rough.
we're going to see Tarkin
And then, like,
show up.
also, the thing about it is just this story is fucking batshit crazy.
It's an interesting, like we talked about, it's an interesting concept, but I just can't get behind it. I mean,
It's okay.
They got
I'm
Luke being a
big
bad boy.
Dr. Aphra fan, and this book series was really good, and then it just broke into this fucking thing, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
it seems like, it's they're just trying to bring back expanded universe, but
That's what I don't
They're-
understand. I thought the reason we did this new Disney rejuvenation was to get away from these
to
things
have like continuity. This
specifically.
is like
This is
totally
fucking in,
expanded
yes.
universe.
But no, this is in fucking context now, because and Justin is a big EU fan, so it's just weird because we've had multiple discussions about like the deletion of like so many fucking things
Yeah,
that we
the whole
love.
Yuzan
Well,
Vong
yeah, they had
storyline.
so much
Yeah,
information they could just use that people already loved. They're like, no.
Just roll in the
We're
good
going
parts.
to make our own kind of. Is it considered expanded universe?
I mean,
now that it's
everything's canon, no.
No,
Yeah.
since Disney bought the merger,
Yeah.
since
So
George
it's
Lucas
not
sold it to the
really
white slavers at
expanded
Disney.
universe. It's just a part of their canon
So
story.
all we're trying to say is we're not
George
repping
Lucas
this
said
one.
white slavers at Disney. I love it. It's so great.
So let's talk about. I read Gen X3. Did anyone else?
Nope.
I did, but I just thumbed through it. I mean,
Okay, well then
I just look for Quentin
I don't
Quire.
really have anything to talk about it, so I read it, and I'm gonna do one more issue, and most likely I won't talk about it on the next podcast. If that's telling you where I'm at, where I stand with this.
don't
Justin,
even
Thanos
know.
8. Let's fucking talk about that shit.
Oh, Thanos 8 was cool.
Oh, it is really good. And it's one of those comics that you kind of get to take a break from all the Marvel stuff that's going on Earth and go out into the cosmic reaches to the edge of the universe, where you pretty much pick up where back on the planet where his brother
I
Star
was right.
Fox.
It is Star Fox.
Star
I knew
Fox.
it.
His brother, we were
His
talking about last
nickname.
week. Thanos' brother
His code name.
is actually Star Fox.
It was Star Fox. I read that and I was like, oh, I was so
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry I made fun of you.
No, that's okay.
Well, no,
It's-
because I
it's,
thought
it's
it
still
was totally
stupid.
wrong, too.
I mean, I would like to see Fox McCloud being in it now.
Can we get
Still.
it? Please, Nintendo, Marvel, please. We need a Star Fox and
Dude,
Thanos crossover.
Dynamite buys up every property they can. They can totally do a Star Fox book.
That
Oh,
would
that
be
would-
pretty sweet, and
that
just
would be
throw them
cool.
into like a Guardians
Well,
or something like
they're
that.
starting to
too.
dip their toes in the water with that whole like Legend
Quest.
of Zelda like anime type stuff. They released some kind of comic on Free Comic Day. Do you remember that one?
I didn't. I didn't
I'm
see
looking
that.
specifically at Evan.
I'm a weeaboo.
He's got his waifu over there. No,
Yeah,
but
beer.
But no, Thanos. Okay, so let's kind of just run this Thanos series down really quick. I mean, he's immortal now.
he was stripped of his godhood
Has an infected arm for crying out loud.
And
because a mutant space rat
Yes.
gnawed on it.
yeah, which is, I mean, it's just cool to see. I gotta say, I've read. Well, there's just a point in when I got back into Marvel was because I've already mentioned this on the podcast, was Guardians of the Galaxy. That first series that Bendis did, and I went back and just Evan and I both we just cruise through Annihilation and Thanos Imperative and like all those books. And there's some, Drax had a solo series beforehand.
Yeah, he did.
With Cammy, that was a cool character, and then Thanos had a series, and it was like this weird like early 2000s resurgence of cosmic universe.
The cosmology was just awesome back
We were
then.
getting cool Quasar stuff, then we got new Quasar, and then we were doing a bunch of cool Nova stuff, even though...
Dude,
Then
that last
then you got a new
series was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
God, with Secret Invasion, like right after... God damn it, now I'm all excited.
Aw.
But
I'm just sad.
but this Thanos series, like Justin said, it just harkens back where I don't have to even deal with anything else. But this is cool because this fucking crew, Thane is a fucking piece of shit dick.
Which makes him a great villain.
Yeah,
that makes him great.
And
you love to hate him.
It's Thanos' son that is just like he. And if you guys read Infinity, I mean, this guy.
Do you like the Lady Death like remake? Like since they've like redesigned
that's
her?
what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Interesting.
They definitely slutted her up.
I like I'll say I like the art style.
They made her more
I haven't
appealing.
read any of this, so
I'll bring it up as we're talking about this.
I'm used to Lady Death literally just being a skeleton in a cloak.
Nope. Also, the covers have been crushing on this. Now tell me this.
Be careful, they hurt whenever you look at them. It crushes your body.
Who is the guy
physically.
with the red hair?
The one with the spiked?
Not
he's like
Starfox.
it's like Ultimate Warrior or something, or like
I don't know.
Kaikos Slaughterus? Or it's something like
do I
that.
know him
the
from?
champion is what his name is. I think he's a cosmic being. Like
I just don't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm not sure. But
Kaikos. Tricos?
yeah, he's
Trico?
like he's called like the champion or something. I think if I remember.
I'm showing Evan right now what Death looks like. She's
Evan's
now
like,
hanging
oh.
with Thane. And she's basically, I mean, she's able to convince Thane to basically,
that's
just like Thanos.
Which is awesome. That's a great motivator. I mean,
I liked her
kinda,
better as a bag of bones. Thank you.
She too
Evan
thick.
likes those little girls.
She thick now.
You heard about skin and bones? I like bones.
Wow.
One
She
thing
got
that
too much meat on bone.
one thing that plays through my head whenever I'm reading the big out there cosmic issues is the soundtrack to the 1980s heavy metal.
Oh, the Hagar ones?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man,
Just
yeah,
like if they're in the
DOC
ship
and
talking,
fucking-
I like to think that's playing in the background.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just has
seriously,
that feel.
We need to get into like the motion comic and like audiobook business. I mean, we got this shit on lock.
I said
like it's ridiculous.
If
Like,
Marvel could, we could even take the character Nick had said of Star Fox. We will write a book that would be just like
Yeah, well,
what you need for that.
Evan
Because
and I'll provide the voices. You know, Justin's got the soundtrack going.
a great audiobook on that shit.
Oh man. Just-
And
Oh.
then they throw in the Witches of Infinity at the very
Now,
end. They're in a black
are
hole.
these new characters or these established ones?
You know, I didn't even Google it.
Okay,
I was
because
just
I've never heard of them
flabbergasted.
myself. I mean, and I pride myself on being a know-it-all asshole who knows everything. So I've never heard of them.
I think they're already established because
Okay.
Thanos was saying he saw them whenever he was wearing the gauntlet. He could see everything in the
need
universe,
Harry here to
even
check our
beyond the
facts.
known universe,
Yeah.
and he knew exactly where to go, which was this black hole. And him and Star Fox went in there, and that's where it left.
Just
off.
search Wishes of Eternity. Nothing came up.
Infinity.
So
That's what he searched.
Oh, okay.
the
he just said the
Sisters
wrong
3.
so all right, real quick before we jump into Secret Empire.
X-Men Blue. I read it. Did anybody else read it?
No, I gave up on the series. It's still got Ultimate Wolverine.
Yes.
How's it going?
Fine.
I didn't mind Jimmy Hudson in the Ultimate Universe. He was all right.
Not a big fan.
I mean,
but
he's probably going to transition to your new Logan eventually.
I
But,
think so, which is why I like him, because he's better than Laura.
You just
but-
come right out and say it.
Yes. Did anybody else read it?
That's
cool if you
I
didn't.
glanced through it, but I didn't get it. I didn't read it all the way.
I like I said, I'm reading. I like Gold because it's like Claremont style, but Blue. I guess
What's going on in this one? Like,
It's not. We don't need to dwell on why you don't like it. We've gone over it before.
I want to talk about that. It's. Did you read all new X-Men?
Probably not. If I don't
Okay.
remember. No.
Blue is
Well, no, I know the
okay,
difference between them.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Then,
I was just wondering what was going on
what
in
they
this.
happen?
Yeah.
Is they picked up Jimmy and they're trying to figure out what is wrong, and he's being pursued by a bunch of mutants that some of them are familiar, some of them are not. But it turns out they are hangers on from when the universe is merged. I don't know where they.
Some more
Ultimate
Secret
Universe?
Wars. You know,
Yeah, because
I don't know what to do,
they've
so
got
they're
a
here.
Quicksilver, and
Okay.
it is Quicksilver. It is Pietro, but
Cool.
it's not the one that's in Uncanny Avengers. It is just a different Quicksilver.
It's not Ultimate Universe incest one, right? Or Twincest, excuse me.
I hope
Twist
not.
us,
yeah. Okay.
But it has Mrs. Sinister.
What?
And
Yeah. There's a female Miss Sinister running around.
Yeah.
In the Ultimate Universe? Or
No, just regular now.
yeah. There is an actual Mr. Sinister and a
does-
Mrs. Sinister.
Does the Wolverine, does he have memories of the Ultimate Verse?
Yes, that's why he's conflicted. That's why he's like freaking out, because what Mrs. Sinister said she's done is she's mind fucked all of these mutants into working for her, and she tried on Jimmy, but because he's related to Logan, he's
Yeah.
got some
Well,
telepathic.
it's like Logan. Whenever he does timeline stuff, he always remembers both timelines and
Yeah.
everything. I guess it's inherited.
Yeah, so he
Oh,
remembers some
that's
of
a
his
cool thing,
past,
though.
so
That's
it's
cool.
harder for her to control him because he's got so much going on in his brain. But she leaves with her bad mutants that she's converted, and Jimmy is now joining X-Men Blue, I think.
So should I go jump into the last? I haven't read the last two
Which
issues.
is good. They needed a Wolverine
And
since they don't have access to Laura.
Now, if
Agreed. They do need. I feel that team definitely could.
Yeah, I mean, just
That or a Colossus.
since
is
X-Men's
what I
joined
would
in the
say.
'80s, is they need that. I mean,
now did Jimmy have reality altering powers at any point?
What?
no, but Wolverine in the Ultimate Universe was like ridiculously overpowered, especially when the whole like Cable shit came, and it ended up being him as Cable.
Well, because one of the
But-
things is one of the bad guys that's after them is some knockoff Magneto girl. I can't remember her name, but she has metal powers.
Polaris? Like
It's
the
not
daughter?
Polaris. It's
Okay.
somebody else.
Polaris is not a Magneto knockoff.
It's not Polaris. She's
But
real.
at one point
She's
she's
a
like, "You can't hurt
fabulist.
me with metal." And he's like, "Okay." And then he slowly turns the claws into bone claws, and then goes to fucking kill her.
That's cool.
And I was like, "What? What's happening?"
That is awesome.
So I don't know if that's just a new power he has, or if he can like switch between a different universe version of himself where he has bone claws.
Jimmy has adamantium too?
He didn't.
Did he go through the process? Because that ain't natural. That's you know.
Yeah. He got grafted.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
Just like Sabretooth is.
I
as
read
well.
pretty much till Ultimatum, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going
Hold
on,
on.
and
Can
I'm
we
done.
talk about? I just want to talk about this one part of Ultimatum. Did anyone read Ultimatum?
Nick has his hand raised.
Do you remember that part when Blob eats Janet?
Wasp. And then Hank bites his head off.
Like that is the.
Blob says tastes like chicken. Oh god, it's
he,
like
he literally eats
yeah.
like.
See, this is how
like kills her?
fucking
Yeah, like-
this is how fucking awesome the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
love the Ultimate
I think we should do a
Universe.
podcast on why the Ultimate Universe was awesome. I think it might look dated right now because it didn't have as much open response. It's not like this is positive female, this is positive this.
Well, it's
just like straight
for
up,
a
this is
newer generation. It's like for us if we were a little bit older when it came out. You know, it's-
Exactly.
And I actually really liked Ultimate Spider-Man.
He really did say tastes like chicken. I just want to stress that
He
Nick's not
did.
making a joke.
No,
he
he's-
says tastes like chicken.
and he has like these evil eyes too. Tastes like chicken.
brutal as fuck.
And then Giant Man bites his fucking head off.
yeah. Oh well. Yeah. No. Pim did not take that.
I really wish he would have said tastes like chicken too.
Can we transfer the Pym tastes like chicken to some Pym Secret Empire shit? No, we didn't talk about Hulk first.
Before we do Secret Empire,
We have a lot to say on
the Secret Empire connected to the Defenders, but I want to talk about. I don't have to talk about it. Uncanny Avengers. Guess what? Still probably Marvel's best fucking book besides Iron Fist out there. Consistently best book.
Synapses Bay. I love her. She is so good.
She's getting better too. She's becoming more into herself. Maybe just because the writer's fleshing her out better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't like this whole influx of Inhumans. It's basically just in lieu of mutants.
But her in that group of
But
people.
her as a character is getting good.
Yeah, it's
And
because
I mean,
she's a good character.
Yeah.
Also because her power set is really reflective of everyone else. Like
It's really interesting.
they're like, hey, there's so many times where they have to ask her to help out, and I think that's actually like refreshing. Like that's another cool thing about the Uncanny Adventures is everyone when things go wrong, every person asks for help from everyone.
And I really like Johnny on the team.
Dude,
It's great that they found something for Johnny. I mean, because I think he is kind of a douchebag character, but
I didn't like him hanging out with the Inhumans and fucking
Crystal.
Medusa.
Okay,
he was. I thought he was like with Crystal because I know that Quicksilver
he was before.
Well, for a little
God,
bit,
that's like dating a girl and then dating his mom. Like it's ridiculous.
Hey,
Oh.
you know what? It's Johnny Storm. I mean, that's the
It is
point.
Johnny Storm.
That's what he says to them.
Like,
It's like, no, you dated my sister. Hey, it's me, Johnny Storm.
like he's too cool. But I just gotta say, and I think we'll all have to say, is just Uncanny Avengers is like just this is like we were talking about. The one thing that DC has that Marvel doesn't have is that the pickup ability. If you buy, we're on issue 24, 1 through 24 of Uncanny Avengers, you could get into any issue. You'd be like, you dig it.
Seeing stuff like this, it reminds me and makes me think that comics would do this more often because anytime they have like a hodgepodge of people who you wouldn't normally pair together, they do so good. Like Justice League Infinity, Uncanny Avengers, they work really well off of each other. What else am I thinking of? Just like the new Avengers or whatever. Stuff like that, like the ones that aren't
Oddball sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
for
Those
sure.
together, those are so Guardians. Guardians is a perfect example. Those were all guys that weren't really selling. They put them together.
Yeah,
they were great.
Huge title.
They're massive now. So just stuff like that. I mean, if you take chances on these characters, you don't really know what to do with. Just put them together.
And somehow it turns out it's gold. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, good book. And then real quick, before you start on your Secret Empire, you want to talk about Hulk 7 for a second?
Yeah, let's talk about Hulk 7. Anybody else read Hulk 7?
I did. I don't remember it, but I read through it.
Well,
This was my make it or break it issue for me.
and it worked.
And it worked. I'm going to keep reading.
Tell me about it. What happened?
Have you followed any of this story, Nick?
Not much, but just
You
give
didn't
me
miss
more.
much.
Okay, good.
It has been an incredibly disappointing first run,
It was rough
honestly.
because Evan and I are big Jin fans, as we've always stated, but the book this is what I said earlier to Evan when we were just hanging out. This was issue 7 should have been issue 2.
Yes. This is the 7th issue of a series titled Hulk. This is the first issue wherein there is a character you could describe as the Hulk.
She actually hulked out finally for real.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool. We Evan and I, well, and you too. We love Jen as a lawyer. I mean,
Yeah,
we
she's a fun character.
That's why Daredevil's a fun character. I mean, as nerdy as it sounds, the lawyer stuff is a very interesting thing. And,
Well, it's they get that perspective on both sides of the
and
law.
that's why in those events they always play. It's always interesting to watch what Matt or Jen does because of
Yeah.
have they ever faced off in court?
Yes.
Okay, I surely they
When
had.
she was a judge, right?
Well, no, she
I was
actually.
gonna say Jin was a prosecutor and Matt Defender's always been a defense lawyer.
That's he's a prosecutor now.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he's an
Okay.
ADA.
Interesting.
He had to change after the whole name thing
Oh yeah.
when he moved back to New York. Also, we'll talk about Daredevil later. I was gonna get on that subject.
Yeah, I think they've tried really hard to play on the whole emotional turmoil that she's been in after the events of Civil War, where her cousin died,
And
she
she
was
was
a part of
brutalized.
a botched Thanos operation, but they just haven't done it well. They're kind of trying to do like a PTSD, depression type of thing. But in my opinion, it's
They're
just
trying to
I
turn it into
actually
a
really
Netflix
like-
series, basically.
She's got this thing where when she panics, she watches cooking videos, like baking videos on her phone.
like we all do.
Well, no, it's funny because I have little quirks like that. Like if I need to calm down, I watch like random cooking videos. Like
You watch
or, like,
CW is what you do.
Fuck you. Yes, I do. But it's interesting. Like Evan said, is his phrasing is PTSD.
Yeah.
Because she has these freakouts where she knows she's gonna go beast mode, but the only thing is we didn't have to see her do it for the last 5 issues.
Yeah, we understand.
Or 6 issues.
Even give me 2 or 3 issues, but just write it better. Condense it a little bit. Let me understand what she's going through, and then move the fuck on. Let her deal with it.
But now we see that she's like Hellcat. Patsy showed up, and she's.
I remember that.
She's like, I don't know. All I can say is I think that.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to do a spoiler for those who haven't read the issue. The crux of the issue, one of the things that happens, the very beginning and the very end, is there's these 2 fucking douchers who go and buy inhuman growth hormone, which is the knockoff of mutant growth hormone.
They actually refer to IGH.
Yeah,
Jesus.
IGH. And they go get it from like some fucking dealer.
Sounds like
They're
something Barry
hey
Bonds
man,
took."
we need some IGH. And then it turns out they're a camera crew for the YouTube channel of a gay baking man, gay baker man. He bakes cakes. And so Jen's watching it on her phone. She's watching this like live YouTube. He's making a cake. But they put the fucking inhuman growth hormone on his test food that he takes a bite out of.
And I remember. Okay,
And then he like goes,
I now remember.
and it like turns into a deformed monster. But
To get
that
more
was good.
views.
Yeah.
that was a little goofy. Everything in between was nice. But
Well, like I said,
like okay, I understand.
I'm giant and I'm
I
angry
think
and I'm gay.
I think the biggest stress point that Evan is reaching is that if you were to buy this, and what I was talking about earlier, if you want to read this, just go pick up Hulk Volume 2.
Yeah, do
When it
that.
comes out in the trade paperback, don't buy Volume 1 because I guarantee they'll have a synopsis at the beginning, and you can just read Volume 2
Marvel
and
is
be
so
like,
kind enough to do that.
this is where I should start. But Evan, I need you to lead us into Secret Empire and the Secret Empire United, which ties in all to Defenders since they're in the the dark wave. What do they call the New York?
the Dark Dome,
The dark plot blindness. I don't know.
the dark plot
None of
line.
us know what the fuck we're talking about.
Did you see that they
Silver
turned
linings.
the not Daredevil, the Deadpool issues into another Secret Empire?
That's
I
another thing I have on my
happen to-
list. I wanted to
I
ask if
happen to like
anyone is
that.
reading Deadpool.
I saw the cover of him in Hydra colors.
Yeah, that look.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that Deadpool being with Steve makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
yeah, Steve hired him to be on the Avengers. He's gonna fucking follow Steve into whatever because
Well, exactly.
he's
Yeah.
always-
That's what I'm saying.
he's
It
a
makes
merc for
sense.
hire. That's the
Yeah.
point.
That's why it makes sense.
And he has a fondness for Captain America,
that's-
much like Frank Castle, the Punisher,
Yeah.
which was at the beginning of this
Why
issue.
do all these brutal serial killers have like? You know what? Steve's a good guy.
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
though.
what-
No,
where did that
it
come
doesn't.
from?
It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody respects Cap. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
this is such a big
it's
fucking
their
thing.
soups. It's their soups.
Yeah, it's because he's the guy you look up to. He is morally incorruptible. If he says that that America is evil and that they actually won World War II, but they made everybody forget that they did, then by God,
They
Cap,
did.
Cap knows what he's saying. Yeah, it's just
Let's see. You want to do the main issue? You guys want to talk about the?
we could probably combine them. I bet since we're running.
I actually didn't read United.
Oh, well then.
United was
pitch that
kind
to
of
us.
cool. I
United
remember.
pretty much brought in the mutants issue. And how do you pronounce that territory or country that they're in? Is it
Genosha?
Genosha.
No, they were.
Krakoa?
Nope, it was
other one?
The Savage Lands.
start with the T. It was like a 4-letter word. TIAN.
New Tien, where
Okay.
the Inhumans were.
I love
Okay.
what's his
Zorn.
Zorn. I love Zorn. He's so fun.
Is it Zorn or Zom? Because there's two of them. I can't remember which one.
Zorn is the one
Hold
that
on,
has
bring it up
to
real
cage his
quick.
face.
Okay.
Because he's got the power of a dying star in his
Oh
face.
yeah. He's
That's
he's
the
such a
Yeah.
cool looking character. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of him like in this run, but his visual is really good.
Well, it started off with a border patrol attack,
Yeah.
and they're trying to figure out who is behind it. Both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah. They're
Frenzy
running like,
was a part of it.
they're running like a false flag kind of operation.
Mhm.
Turns out.
And then Captain America doesn't send anybody. He goes there himself to figure out who.
And they let him in because he's Captain America.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he meets Beast. Beast brings him to.
Is it Zom or I think it's Zorn.
Zon.
Yeah.
And it.
It is Zom.
He's being
XOM.
puppeted by Emma Frost.
I did like that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I apparently need to
kinda-
read this issue
I
because
kind of saw
that
it
sounds
coming,
pretty cool.
but
It's the mutants with Secret Empire Fire and Light.
Mhm.
The only thing I have
go to your own Mike Austin.
I know. The only thing that really upset me was that what was on the fucking cover was like magic fighting. No, you didn't see this?
Magic fighting. Yeah.
Like,
well, the covers are rarely indicative of
I
what's
just-
actually at the
I'm
comics.
an Eliana
Variants.
fan, and I want to see Miss Rasputin destroy people with her soul sword. Like, and you know
Does
what?
she still have a creepy little Pakistani girl on her sword?
They did not mention it, but I have a feeling that she's still involved. I mean,
Okay.
why would we get
A creepy Pakistani girl.
Did you not read that storyline? It was a huge arc. And,
that was like 12 issues of Extraordinary X-Men.
and I didn't care for that
I was gonna
arc,
say
actually.
again, X-Men. I'm just getting into it.
I was surprised to see Vision getting impaled by
Yeah, but that doesn't mean much. Vision is that character they cannot get rid of. They will never get rid of Vision.
Mhm.
I mean,
Vision is their oh shit, how do we get out of this problem?
Yeah, like, he
character.
will-
He's their
he's-
Deus Ex Vision.
The division in the machine.
I need that.
That's
t-shirt.
right.
I need that. I need that shirt now.
Deus Ex Vision.
What about the main book?
I have a lot to say about that. I really liked the first 6 pages. Like a lot.
Before they met Ultron.
And I didn't like the Pimtron when they did it in Uncanny Avengers. I really didn't like it now, but Pimtron got exactly as angry as I do about the whole beating his wife thing. Seriously, he brings up the same point I always bring up. He's a founding member of the Avengers. He saved the world who knows fucking how many times. He's an amazing scientist. He's discovered fucking Pym particles, and the only thing anybody ever fucking talks about is that he hit his wife once.
And that's just the thing with him. That's his character. But
that's his character because the writers are stupid.
Let's see.
But when did that even happen?
Before we were born.
They're just going there to get, because apparently Pimtron has a cosmic cube shard. Because they're looking for how many are there?
that
7?
There's 7.
Okay,
Dragon Balls.
I really did like that part.
That's right.
Okay, I didn't like that they're separated.
Fin Fang
but
Foom's gonna come down.
for some reason, it reminded me of Dune, not the book, but the actual David Lynch movie. That whole table sequence where everyone was uncomfortable, and Dune is a lot of
it's like a forced gathering.
and it was but you need the spice, but it was for this instance it was the cosmic cube.
I do
and,
like,
and I thought that was very and because they got what they wanted. I mean, he was in control of the situation.
I hate Pimtron. I hate that design and how they've
looks
done it.
Fucking stupid on an art level.
I mean, it's
not saying that the art is bad.
The concept
it's a bad
is cool.
Design.
But I mean, the way he's presented is kind of cool. But just
and his whole thing about I don't like where he's talking about Ultron. That he's not Ultron. You are fucking Ultron. You look you are Ultron.
Half of you is Ultron.
Yeah.
I love that too. What was it they said? I think it was Tony Stark, his consciousness. He's like, oh my goodness, even with Ultron, your weakness is still Hank's inferiority complex. I love it. That was so great. I was like, oh, that's so good.
That's what I want to talk about. My biggest problem out of all the Secret Empire was Ghost Tony Stark in the armor.
He's not a ghost. He's a
shut the fuck
artificial
up.
intelligence.
Just shut the fuck
projected
up.
Why do you
image.
not like that? I mean, it makes sense. It is Tony Stark we're talking about.
I hate it. I mean,
Okay.
I'm
don't
fine with
care.
it. I just want real
This is
Tony Stark.
one thing
Yeah.
I want to talk about.
Oh, he'll be back at the end of Secret Empire.
Nick Spencer is writing Secret Empire.
Do we have 2 more issues of
It
Secret
goes
Empire?
to 9, right?
Yeah, they extended it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and then we still have.
Because it's so good.
And then and keep in mind, it's not just that. We've got fucking. Hold on, let me look at my list right here. We've got Uprising, United, Brave New World, and Underground. Those are all continuing series for Secret Empire. So did anyone read Axis when it came out? That's where the villains became the good guys because the good guys.
Oh yeah. Axis was cool.
Okay,
I mean,
so let me say this: when Axis came out.
I love their events. I mean, there's so good concepts.
Yes, and so Axis and
executed
Civil War
so
2,
badly.
I felt were compared to, let's say, Fear itself or Civil War or things like that.
Good ones.
I would say they were not as powerful.
No,
But then when Secret Empire came along, I found out that
It could be both not powerful and bad.
yes, I can say I have not been able to back any of this except this. Other than the art of Secret Empire,
Secret Empire, the title.
that brooding,
again,
just dark as fuck, realistic art,
that's
awesome.
the situation going on, and just the concepts are really good. I mean, and they're just not executed.
The delivery, yeah.
I know, and it hurts me because these can be so good. Fucking with Captain America is like
it hurts everyone. Yeah,
the greatest idea
And
ever.
here's where I think the problem lies is because that's a great idea, fucking with Captain America, but they don't. It doesn't. That storyline does not mesh well with how they've changed all of the other Marvel characters.
And the pieces are there. The way Cap did it was so good.
Whoa, mic
Like,
drop.
it-
Yeah, I
Just
I mean,
the pieces are there. Just do it different.
Well, okay. This is weird.
When it concludes,
Nick
we'll do
Spencer
another.
has been writing
how it should have
Cap
gone.
and Sam Wilson for like a year or two now.
Something like that.
Like a very
And the
consistent.
Cap stories they've been all right. They
exactly.
haven't been bad.
So this is. I'm kind of curious how much Marvel is putting their little fingers in the fucking pie.
Well,
on
that's
this,
my thing.
Like guiding it where they want.
I don't think Captain America is the problem. I don't think even the event is the problem. I think it is the entirety of Marvel's supporting cast that is the problem.
There you go, because they're trying to shoehorn everybody in, and
Everybody.
and that's great. But that's what worked.
I
with,
still can't get over that Riri and Miles decided to join fucking Natasha.
the Assassin Club.
What the fuck is
That's
that?
what works so well with Civil War, because you had your core guys doing it, but at the same time you had the Annihilation Wave going on for your cosmic guys. You had like the fallout of M-Day. You had Planet Hulk. You had different spheres
Ventures,
of
for
everything.
sure.
It wasn't all everybody trying to get in their little digs in one event.
Secret Invasion was the best. We're gonna have everybody in on this shit, and that worked really well.
That worked well.
But again, Secret Invasion was a very well planned and very well executed, and they had
it did get a little
Bendis.
And then, okay,
when he cares about something.
Bendis, write an event. Stop writing individual stories except for
Jessica
the Iron
Jones.
Man.
Yeah, an Infamous.
But I think because they've decided that they want to go a different direction with so many different characters,
And now they're fucked.
that that a bunch of them are unrecognizable, and so they don't work out. I mean, if they're not dead or a different person at this
There's
point.
3 Iron Men. There's 2 Hulks. There's.
Fuck Secret Wars. I mean,
I hate. No, yes,
no,
fuck
no,
Secret
no,
Wars.
no, no,
I hated
no.
Secret
Oh,
No,
Wars.
fuck you. Secret Wars was really cool. The only thing is
it was good. The end they should have rebooted. Like just
That's
Finish it. That's what they
that's
should've
like,
done.
I've already mentioned on the podcast. The problem was this with Secret War. Secret Wars was like this culmination of everything where they had the perfect opportunity to do everything again, and they
just-
fired Hickman.
just start from the bottom, bring in your guys. I mean, even have like Mark Miller write like a one shot for like the reformation of the
The Avengers.
yeah, exactly.
I would love to see what if they just instead. Don't get me wrong, I love Scott, but what if they did bring like Pym back with like with Janet and like I'm talking old school Avengers, like
Just classic
actually
characters.
like Thor, not
like Donald Blake Thor.
yeah,
right?
like
yeah.
what if we just but they did not do that.
Well, it'd be cool. You could even have like that as an origin story and like have that heritage, but don't have it be like spanning 50 years now. Just
Well, that's the thing is Marvel has very clearly put their foot down. Is they don't care about their properties. They don't care about their intellectual property in so much as keeping it the same.
it's quantity over quality is what they're really
well, it's quantity
doing.
over quality, and it's also okay. We put Captain America and Iron Man and Thor and the Hulk in movies, and it worked. So therefore, ergo,
we must use-
1 + 1 equals fucking fish, because those characters, as they were worked in the movies, therefore we need dead Hulk, black Captain America, girl Thor, and this terrible Nadia character flying around being an ant
they're
woman.
forcing diversity. It goes back to that.
And again, and that's fine. But again, instead of following new storylines for these characters, they mixed and matched. They changed origin stories, and they replaced characters that are their original IPs. The original Avengers are no more. I mean,
Well, see, okay. The other day I was debating this in my head. I did like a roll call. I was like, okay, let's go over Avengers. If I was to do like Avengers, like old school, like, and tell you the truth, one of my most read books in my collection. I've got a pretty extensive collection, I'd say, and like one of my favorite books I always go back to is it's my Marvel Masterworks Avengers Volume 1, and it's where Loki's like, I'm gonna get the fuck out of this tree, and Thor's like, I don't like that, and then like he uses Hulk to get,
that's one. Joey wrote that one.
like, yeah, hey, no,
Joey.
Joey has good ideas sometimes.
but it's just it's like a goofy thing, and like Janet's like wants to fuck Thor the whole time. She's like, oh, look at those muscles, and like Pym's like, I've got important science stuff. You can flirt with Thor. Like dude, what the fuck, bro?
I've got
Like,
important
See,
science
that's
stuff
the
to
thing that's
do.
always pissed me off about Reed Richards and Hank Pym. They're like, no science. But
And then they have these really hot women that are like,
What's that character from The Simpsons you just did? No, Glyman!
Professor Frink. I remember something.
Having just defined Marvel characters in my head
jeez.
permanently. I can't not read Pym without thinking of that voice now.
No, I see there's a lady over there, but I have science.
It's Jerry Lewis.
The who's it said, the what's it's. Yeah, okay. We're not going to do that.
I just want to. We've got so much shit to talk about DC.
We're not even DC yet.
I know, but the last thing I've got to mention
Defenders.
is Defenders. Now this is my masturbatorial book because it's the fuck. I mean, these, and not because necessarily. I understand they're doing this to make money for more Netflix productions, shit like that.
It's still a good team up.
It's a
These
good
guys
team.
have been working together for years.
It's
like,
street
we've
level guys. That's great.
Daredevil's really the most oddball guy out of it because Jessica, Luke, and Danny have always been together. Like,
Yeah.
Well, they have super strength, and Daredevil's just a blind guy.
Hey, what do they say in the trailer?
He's the Batman of their
Yeah.
group,
But no, I gotta say, I really did enjoy the book. I thought it was
It
a
was
lot.
cool.
I didn't know
I'm
how
gonna
they were
keep
gonna
reading.
pull it off, and I thought they pulled it off well. And I think it's because fucking Bendis wrote Daredevil for years. He wrote Luke well to when he led the New Avengers, and then he writes Jessica. Alias.
Basically, kind of the crux of this, what they're trying to say is they're trying to figure out Diamondback. I guess Diamondback had passed away or something, or what had happened with him.
This is what I was curious about. So with this new after Secret Wars and stuff like that, and I'm assuming this also has to do with the Netflix series. Did you read the book, Evan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now was that? I think that was Cottonmouth and Luke Cage, right? Was that Cottonmouth or was that Diamondback? Which one was that?
They were both involved.
Okay, all right. I just saw like a few episodes, so I didn't get to finish it.
Yeah. So I don't know if pre-continuity if he was deceased or what, but like that's
thought he was
what,
part of
Well,
the
they made references to him being dead like 50 times.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was
But-
part of the Serpent Society. I even did the
that's
Serpent
what I
Crown
didn't
for it.
understand if he was. If it's supposed to be like Nick said, like a resurrection sort of thing, or if he was falsifying his death, or if it just has to do with another universe coming in. I mean, they won't go that deep with it, I'm assuming, but like, it just what it looked like is they're like, hey, remember this television show character? Well, here he is again. Like, it was just they weren't writing a new character; they just used someone that's common ground, and I don't have a problem with that. It's just that I don't remember the last time I even saw him in a book.
I think that's the point.
So they can just-
yeah, they're trying to find out. It's like, how is this guy back? And like, they're even confused. They don't know
But
what's going on.
This is one thing I want to stress about this issue. Did you read it, Justin?
Yes.
Okay. As an introductory issue, I really love when they did those single panels of each character. Like as a fan, that was really cool to see. Like they use different histories of
Yeah,
them.
it was like page, Luke Cage, and then you got classic Power Man.
Yeah,
and
like
oh
I
yeah,
thought
that was
fucking
cool.
cool.
That it had that heritage to it,
Yeah.
which was nice.
And I think this.
I
book
loved Jessica's. It's just like
I love her as Jewel.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
her as Jewel.
I thought
But
it,
that was the only superhero thing in the page. The rest is just her like drinking.
Binge drinking.
Yeah.
well, yeah, because I thought it just had that picture like the Purple Man and her like with the derpy face.
They did have a picture of the Purple Man. Yeah.
But no,
Purple Man.
I'm gonna
Purple
put
guy.
most my
my
money
double
behind this book.
Huh?
I'm gonna put my money behind this book. I really trust Bendis in this. He's crushing with
This is one you'll actually buy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I buy all of these, but Defenders, it's a fucking great book. I think
It
this
was
is
good.
gonna go.
I liked it.
I think it's gonna go well. I think maybe it's a good starting ground for anyone. Like, I feel like I could give it to someone and they would be like, I'm not connected to these people, but I'm like, I'm interested in seeing where this is going. But we've got a lot to talk about DC. Where do you want to jump into it, Nick? I want to obviously end with Forge, but where do you want to start at?
Let's start with something good. Let's start with Flash. Flash was great.
Flash was
and
great.
Can I take a minute and say, Justin, how I appreciate your notes on everything?
Oh, you mean
Like,
these?
he-
Like,
he's
as
got, like,
I'm
this
going,
book of-
I'm just, like, scratching stuff off.
He's got this book of like information. And
that only I can read.
We're gonna need to
because
post it on the
it's
blog
such
at some
chicken
point.
And
to
scratch.
show
I'll take
you
a
what we're
picture of
looking at.
that for tonight's up.
All
But,
right, well, Justin, you want to fill us in on what's going on with Flash?
Let's see. Flash.
We are at like a minute 15 or an hour 15, so I'm
Are
not
we
saying
really?
keep it brief, but keep it brief.
Well, I just want to jump in. My favorite part of this issue is Thrawn being a bully to Wally West.
okay.
And he said, "quote You were never the real Wally West, anyways."
When he did the okay, did you read Flash? I don't want to ruin this.
Oh, Flash. Ah.
How do you not read that book? It's like the
Flash,
consistently
Flash is good. Flash is good.
it's
Superman's
like
good. Batman's good.
consistently good.
It is. Okay. It's consistently good, but there have been whole issues where literally nothing happens.
That is
But
true.
between arcs and like, hey, here's a book, and it's like
There's shit that happens in this one.
When he takes Wally down and he breaks his leg and he's like,
This is
yes,
B-Dub.
I know you have an intense healing factor, but what if I just keep breaking it?
Oh,
Yeah.
that
and
was
just
so cool.
repetitively breaks his
this is Zoom.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
it was so
Or Reverse
awesome.
Flash.
Yeah, because he was just waiting there for Iris. Because I guess he's
Casually waiting.
Yeah, and so I read it like C. Thomas Howell in Flashpoint Paradox. He was great in that. The guy who did Reverse Flash.
So is that your current Thawne voice then?
It is. It actually is. Yeah, and I read it sort of
Do
fast.
you read
like
Aquaman as
Momoa?
no as Carrie Yules, who played it in Flashpoint? I don't know if anyone knew that.
No, but that was a good casting.
Yeah.
But Aquaman. I kind of do a mix of Phil Lamar and him a little bit.
What about Green Arrow? Who's your voice?
In Injustice 2, you know who did Green Arrow in Injustice 2?
not.
Alan Tudyk.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
To
he's
me,
like an
He's
all
great.
clean guy.
Well, he's just great in anything he does. I mean, he's like
To me,
I said really. My friend said I thought so.
with Green Arrow, to me, I can't help but think of Carrie Elwes's character in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
oh yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Well, that would be good. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What's his? Is it?
I think it's Carrie Yules. Is how
Carrie
you pronounce
Yules.
it.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. He did the Aquaman voice in the Flashpoint movie.
Really?
Yeah, like that brutal as fuck, like
Uh-huh.
Conqueror. But I'm gonna full-hearted agree with what you just said. From now on, my LA Queen is gonna be Carrie Yules
Because he did good. I mean,
yeah.
and just like who is
Well,
it?
I mean, Fandral
uh,
from the Thor books.
uh-huh.
You know the.
Oh yeah, that should have
The classic. What's his name? I'm trying to come up
I
with.
don't fucking know.
Robin.
Yeah.
Rob.
Errol Flynn.
Errol Flynn.
Like the classic Errol
Oh,
Flynn.
okay, okay, yeah.
Fandral from the
Yeah.
Thor books, and like when you think Green Arrow, you
Mhm.
gotta think that like vibe of like Carrie Yules, like from Princess Bride, even, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, right to rope.
All right. Okay. Flash. Back to Flash.
But yeah, no. The only thing about this issue, I was like, why is Barry in this issue?
Mhm.
Like,
Because he was dealing with is it Multiple Man or who? What is this
No,
character's
that-
name?
no.
Multiple Man.
No, no.
Multiplex.
Multiplex.
Yeah,
Dayton
Multiple Man's
Black.
from Marvel.
And Green Lantern really has nothing in it so far. Like
you
he's
mean
just
that Hal was there for support?
yeah, he was there for like a party or something. What was it? I think it
the
was
birthday party. It's Barry's birthday.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Happy birthday, Barry.
Happy birthday, Barry.
Happy birthday, Barry.
I like how he used his ring to set up a bar table at the end.
That's
Oh,
what I was
that
getting at.
was cool.
I just want to mention how cool that was.
But I just the important thing here is Thawne, just how cool he is. Basically, yeah,
Whoa, who's he killing there?
just some dude from the future.
Yeah, you know, he just goes to the future to show that he's just gonna murder people.
Oh no, Phil of the future.
But yeah, no, I was bringing this last thing up that says, "You know where I live." When he writes it on blood on
Yeah.
the wall, like Jesus fucking Christ, Thawne. Like,
Yeah,
and the cool thing about
he
this,
takes Irish to the future too.
yeah,
Spoilers.
the cool thing about this issue is it's a separate issue. It's literally two issues. You've got the Barry and the Wally issue, and then like Barry's doing this whole thing, and Hal really gives a good pep talk too. Like
Well,
that's,
he's established. He is the GL. He's the
He's been around
HGLIC.
I like how Iris like freaks out when she figures out she's in the future. She starts running, and Thrawn's like, "Running? You're gonna run from me?
Really? You're running. Yeah. Seriously. That was great.
You're running from me?"
Yeah.
but I
was
just
so
say
cool.
consistently good. Joshua Williamson is the guy that writes it, and the art too is. I just really like. I'm not really a Barry fan until really Rebirth. Like I mean I read like.
Like
I read
like Jeff Johns' Rebirth or like this
I know
Rebirth?
I read Flash Rebirth by
Okay.
Jeff, and then I read like the 52 run too. But like, I feel more connected, and I think it's not because of Barry himself. I feel that I'm more invested into the Flash universe, like with Wally
Yeah.
and Iris.
That
and,
Yeah.
that makes sense because I really like this Flash run so far. Barry himself hasn't had a whole lot of characterization or development.
No, he just kind of
whatsoever.
Well,
he's just there.
He's
in
one
every
of the guys
situation.
you know who he is. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, basically, Jeff, you can just drop the mic with that. He established who Barry is and
Reestablished. Yeah.
exactly. And it's kind of the same thing with Batman. Batman didn't really change during the Rebirth thing. He's still just the same.
Like I said last week, Nick, the inside of his cape is purple.
The inside of his cape is free. He used to have purple gloves too. It's
Wait,
velvet.
velvet fluff.
He's basically Liberace. Yes.
Let's hit it with
Archie.
Evan, can you give us a rundown of Red Hood?
Yeah. This. Nope. I can't. I forgot what happened.
Artemis. The
Oh yeah,
conclusion
we've finished or are about to finish Artemis.
Let's fucking hope this Artemis getting the bow. She's got the bow and fucking won. I hope this is the end of it.
You never know. They seem whoever's writing this seems really like Artemis. I want a Bizarro arc next.
Well, you may not get it because Bizarro apparently died at the end of it.
Wait, no.
I don't think they fully said, yeah, he's dead.
Well, no,
He didn't feel good. And then he told the little kid, and they're like, hey, probably dead.
Okay, yeah, I thought like it's Bizarro, and
they've been running off of.
He's supposed to be in the Trinity, so he's not going to die.
Also,
obviously,
can we also say this? This is maybe as a lame Bizarro fan. His backwards talk is not right anymore. He does.
Well, this is a different Bizarro.
Yeah, this is. But like, I'd say like, hate you, Evan, and you'd be like, dude, fuck you. But
no, me hate you.
Me
really?
Yeah. It's not like that.
He
no.
doesn't use
Bizarro
that dialogue
am number
anymore.
one.
Well, it's because he's not from a reverse universe. He's just a clone.
Yeah, but no, they ended it. Okay,
He's not a.
Yeah, okay, I did read this one.
Wait, that's a great thing. He's not actually from Bizarro World. He's
now this
just a clone.
Bizarro could be dead,
But he's just
and they
one of-
might just go grab another one.
yeah, because it's just
True.
it's one of Luthor's pets.
yeah.
But Luthor
That pet's not alive.
supposedly had them all destroyed, and this one was the last one. I think there could be more.
Well, yeah, obviously, because the last one actually died in like Forever Evil, and now we have a new one running around. So
No, throughout the Red Hood, they have like the journals from the scientists when he's talking about it.
This is the same
And
one
he's
from
talking, it's
Forever
like,
Evil?
It's like, yeah, this is our like 12th specimen, and Luthor's like, have them all destroyed. So they just had a bunch in tanks.
Yeah.
And if Jason Todd can stop one from being destroyed, anybody can.
basically, yeah. I'm the worst of the Robins.
but
He
no,
just throws a
I'm
I'm
battering.
the worst, Robin.
This run, this is the very what I'm hoping is the end of this Artemis fucking bow run, because Artemis is. It's funny because I read prior to New 52, Artemis was in like a couple like one-off like Wonder Woman like soups sort of things, and she was like kind of a gnarly bitch that like was just like comparable to one like.
I mean,
finally,
she's like a more intense version of Wonder Woman, which is like holy shit.
and it's enjoyable. But in this arc, like I think Justin just brought it up, like there's like the worst love scene I've ever seen.
She's a lot
I
more
bet
subdued.
Jason and Artemis are going to have sex.
Well, like
Before this is
within
done.
2 issues
She's
of the
gonna
last,
break him.
within the last
She gonna break
Death
him.
by Snoo Snoo.
Death by snoo snoo.
in the 52 run of
Flesh
Red
is
Hood,
willing, the
he
spirit is
fucks
willing, but the body is
Starfire.
spongy,
Yes.
bruised. God. Futurama, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
sorry.
with Roy and Starfire, it kind of felt like they were naturally going to team up. It's just been hard for me to read with Bizarro and Artemis teaming
That's
up
a power
with
couple
Jason
that I want to
Todd.
see.
Yes. Why isn't Bizarro fucking Artemis? Why don't I have that book?
Also because Bizarro's like 2 months
Bizarro's
old.
probably got like a gnarly penis too. Anyway, like just something
Do
horrifying.
you think it shoots backwards?
No, but I think it shoots like ice jizz or something. Like it's probably like heat cum. Or
Well, he's
whatever.
got cold vision, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has cold vision and heat breath.
He come.
No. It's just what's the opposite of like
it's
what's the opposite of
kryptonite.
98? What's the opposite of 98
It shoots
degrees?
fucking magnesium out.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next one.
Please.
Did anyone read Titans?
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I read Titans.
You like it?
This one was like kind of like a Usual Suspects type issue. It was just Karnak. No, not Karnak. I'm
Karnak?
sorry.
I wish.
They look similar. It was Simon and Lilith Omen. Basically something bad this way comes for the Teen Titans. or I guess these are the Titans.
It was the most drawn out issue. I mean, it just felt like it was too long, and there's a lot of love shit. But I guess
it's all wordy, just completely wordy. Basically, what goes on in this is Lilith is interviewing Simon, trying to find like I think where they're because Bumblebee got her powers taken away, and so they're trying to like ascertain
when did she
where
join the team?
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
She's newer to me.
oh wait, no, I'm sorry, my mistake. She didn't get her powers taken away. She got her memories taken away. Like she doesn't remember that.
Yes.
Like Malcolm is her husband and all that.
that.
So they're trying to find the location of like where her stored memories are. But apparently Simon's trying to warn her of like an impending danger that's coming to the Titans, and apparently there's a lot of like love triangles and shit going on too, which we already figured it happened.
Yeah, no. All this stuff. I don't know. I gotta say this. I just kind of started this series because I really like the Lazarus thing we just went through, and so I'm gonna continue, but it didn't attract me that much. I'm gonna spit because I think I'm the only person that reads it. Supergirl and Superwoman.
I read Superwoman.
I don't know this book. I'm looking at it right now. I think it was. I just don't know where this book is going. I just feel like it's a book on its own. I think it's. I love the characters. I just don't know what they're trying to shoot for.
Well, they're leading up to something, I'm sure, but it won't matter because they're all going to cross over in Action Comics, which we'll get to.
But I want to talk about this. Emerald Empress. Did anyone?
She's a Legion villain.
Yes. Did anyone read Suicide Squad versus Justice League? We talked about this. I think. Okay, cool. Emerald Empress was a part of that. The bad guys, you know. She is now into Supergirl because they've been tying in the Legion stuff with Supergirl, which I think is awesome.
Well,
awesome.
yeah, that
Did you
heritage
know the
again.
character Mangog?
Yeah, Magog? Yeah, they have like Magog and Emerald Empress, and there's another one.
Hugug.
Magog? Not the Magog from Kingdom Come, but like the
one he was in JSA.
Yeah,
actually.
the actual like rolled over in continuity version. The one who's like.
But he's there. She's in. They're in Supergirl, and Supergirl is, to tell you the truth, the book itself, they're stuck in the Phantom Zone. Batgirl, Barbara, and her, and it's been fun, and they're trying to find their way out, and it's decent, but the biggest thing for me was the fact that we're kind of really. Hold on, do you use that Pop-Tart? Who was on it?
Oh yeah,
You
Justin brought
motherfucker.
over.
Who's on the next one?
Justin brought over some Justice
Justin
League
did
Pop-Tarts.
Supergirl.
I wanted a picture of the Supergirl one. You should regurgitate that.
You might
but
like
no, so I don't know. I can say it was it was a cool book. I would say Superwoman is just I can't suggest this to any people I know. I mean, I like this book, but
It's cool that they're doing something with Lana, but
it's such a specific book. But Supergirl, I'd say it's got cool art, and I feel like this is where we're going to start getting like our Shazam stuff and our Legion stuff. So I'm excited about that.
We're gonna get it in Superwoman.
No, Supergirl, not Superwoman.
Why the hell would we get it in Supergirl?
Like I just said, they just
to make you read it.
Emerald Empress.
Like
They Magog. Like they're bringing in those characters that were already in the Justice Society. They're bringing in and like you said, a Legion villain.
But I don't like Supergirl.
But I don't like Supergirl.
Well, that's not the way they're gonna work, man. But let's on Superbooks. Fuck, did you read New Superman 12?
I missed it this week.
What a fucking good book.
That was
man.
cool. Yeah.
I would say this is the game changer. This one.
So now they're not canceling it. Last time our prediction was it was going to be canceled.
Okay.
This would change. Yes.
Okay.
I
This
almost
pretty
don't
much
wanna talk about it because
this confirmed my suspicion that he is going to be Superboy. They're going to roll him over into Superboy
for sure.
because they established he can't fly in this one. And what all
He flew in the first two issues.
No. He can get a little
So
levitation
you can levitate.
for a bit.
Mhm.
It's like Johnny.
It's confirmed. Yeah.
Well, they don't call him Johnny. Jonathan.
Well, Jonathan will.
Well,
be
he
able
can't
to
fly
at
because
some
he's been
point.
drinking that wacky milk from the crazy farm.
He's drinking the milk
He's drinking that boo boo milk.
that Aunt Beru has been giving him.
But I actually, if Evan hasn't read New Superman, I don't
really
actually
wanna
wanna
read it, so
I said I don't want to.
New Superman is good.
Yeah. And,
I love
and
New Superman.
Evan,
It's
Evan
worth
likes
it.
the book too, so I don't want to actually ruin it because it's actually one book. I'm like, fuck, man. There's like two or
This
three
is
game
when
changers
forced
in this.
diversity works because you have like a lot of other
And
people there, like to
Exactly.
back it up. It's not just
okay,
him.
this is another thing where diversity really works in this. Like for instance, this is completely takes place in China.
Mhm.
We're not like in America. Like I'm trying to adapt.
They have the
It's-
captions too that this is in Mandarin. It's just translated so you can understand
Exactly,
it, which is
and-
great.
It's this the diversity is just like comfortable.
Mhm.
Like I read this understanding that none of this is supposed to be in English. I'm just reading a translation.
Well, they picked the setting. They said, "Here's the setting. Here's the characters. That's it. We're not going to mention that it's
also,
the setting every
one
issue, or we're not
point-
going to mention what race the characters are every issue."
They at one point.
I mean, they do kind of as a joke.
Well,
they call
and
themselves
just,
the Chinese.
and just the surroundings. You can tell,
Yeah.
you know, and it's not pandering to like these guys are different. These guys are different. It's you just know, and it doesn't focus on them being different. It focuses on their characters, which
Yeah.
is
exactly
good.
and their interactions.
Yeah,
and their anorexia.
and their interactions.
Don't remember that part. Suicide Squad fucking 18 or 19 this week.
Oh, that was
good-
cool.
that was fun.
That
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
And,
Hi, Rick.
And it's time.
Yeah.
And we've got to tie into Action Comics,
Which I didn't read.
981.
Just when Rick Flag was getting
980
interesting.
and 981.
Just when he was boning Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just love that. Charlie.
Actually, did they get interrupted for this?
yeah.
Like, they
well,
get
no.
interrupted-
I think they did it, but they
They're
didn't. They didn't have.
fucking in-
Yeah, it's when Zod is like started going AWOL. But no, this was so good because this was like what fallout from Zod. They're just trying to stop the Phantom Zone people from coming in. So Rick Flag fucking sacrifices himself.
Yep, he
To
goes
do
full
that-
heroic sacrifice.
Yeah, which is cool because that's actually what Rick Flag would do.
Would do
Real Rick
the
Flag.
real Rick.
But-
I like we're like
the real Rick
we're
Flag.
like fuck you, fake Rick Flag.
But-
really hate that chicken chomping one.
But the thing that you're gonna take away from this, in my opinion, Harley Quinn's going a little batshit. Did you hear her talking about Puddin' and Mr. J
that's what I
at
was
the end?
okay,
So
that's
we're gonna
what I
get glimpses of like imaginary Joker now.
Wait, that's where you thought that was leading?
Yeah. No, it's going to lead to imaginary Joker type stuff. They're going to be like, the Joker's here, the Joker's here. What? No. And then the real Joker's going to be there because of the events of the Forge, I think.
That's what I thought. I thought that was
But-
what it was building towards.
But
I thought the Forge was standalone. I thought
No,
that.
no, that's what I thought too. Until I
it
read
is weird where it fits in the continuity.
It's multiversities.
that doesn't mean
And
anything
we'll
to me.
get to that
We'll
because we have
Okay,
so
so it takes
But,
place on one of 52 Earths. Awesome.
no. It takes place on multiple. Okay, we'll talk about it in a second.
But,
We gotta go
Oh,
more about
I
some
just
knockout.
realized. I
What?
just realized something. Okay,
What?
and I'll talk about it when we get there.
Okay, good. All I gotta say is about Suicide Squad before we continue. What a fun book.
yeah. And
really
do you
gonna
like
say-
how Zod just calls out Waller's leadership?
I
Right
did
out-
like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
a general,
talks her
like,
down right in front of everybody.
No. Okay.
It's great because it just humanizes
And then
her. Like,
also,
like it-
and then I'm gonna proceed to Action Comics. When they took Soups down at the very end, I was, I wasn't happy about that.
well,
But
it's
was-
not them. They didn't do it. It's because of that whole like black shit.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, has made him
yeah.
blind.
But like, but Zod still had that dominance because he's now. He's ruling.
He's the strongest of them.
and
he's-
it was just a powerful issue.
Okay. Zod. Okay, back to Suicide Squad. Whenever Cyborg Superman's like, "Come with us if you want to kill Superman," and he just punches him in half, like
Yeah.
breaks all the robot bits off him, and is just like, "You are a fucking like atrocity."
Yeah, he's like, I do not care about Superman. I care about my people, which again makes a good villain when you can kind of see where he's
The
coming
backing,
from.
exactly.
In just that I love how Weasley Hank Henshaw is in this about like how he's dealing with Zod. I love it. He's just the Weasley's little fuck, and I love it.
Okay, this is where I gotta say, it's those characters that I want to play in movies. Like those pieces,
Weasels?
Like your Ramsay Snows and stuff
yeah,
like that.
I'm totally willing to do those piece of shit characters. Like
Yeah.
I love because they're like, the hatred is so strong, and you're like, I kind of like those characters because they're horror. Like I'm more interested by them. Also, I really like this week's Action Comics.
Oh yeah, no, there wasn't a lot there. It's basically just a bridging thing. It had a little bit of action with Superman using his muscle memory, which is great because I think that they don't establish that enough. They just have Superman fighting and stuff, but just the fact that he's also like incredibly smart too about he's like, okay, they can make mistakes too. This is good.
Yeah, and
I love that aspect.
And also, one thing I thought was very interesting is his understanding of each villain.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, okay, this is the same Hank Henshaw.
Yeah, like
This is
understanding.
my universe is one. I know him. I know how to handle him.
Now, Forge is coming up. I just want to spit really quick about this because I think I'm the only person that did this.
Green Lanterns.
I read Hal Jordan the Green Lantern.
That was good. I mean,
Okay, but
Hal Jordan is good. I like it.
I will say that's part of my list.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps is a book that I read in trades.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That is one because you need a lot of knowledge about.
But
Lantern
I was
Corps.
laughing because you talked last week about how much knowledge you need to read it, and I was cracking up on if you didn't know anything about Green Lantern, you would not know one fucking detail of what was happening in Hal Jordan the Green
You'd be
Lantern.
like, you think Sinestro's a girl? Is basically what you would take away from.
You
it.
would they use every Lantern Corps in this issue.
Did we get Larfleeze back?
Oh,
Well,
no, excuse me,
he'll
Larfleeze
show
was
up, but
not
no,
in it.
the Sinestro Corps and the Green Lantern Corps have merged.
They're combined as
Oh
of now.
yeah. I'm
Okay,
up
yeah.
to speed on that.
Okay.
And it's and there's so many names, and then like watching Guy do something, John do something, like every panel is someone doing.
What's going on in this is that there's something foul in the state of Oa. They have a Green Lantern that has apparently killed a Sinestro Corps member because they're still just trying to learn each other, how to operate together. They're all paired up like to a Sinestro Corps member with a Lantern Corps member. It's looking like Tomar Ray's son is the one who's killed him. Is what they're leading it to believe.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be, but
but and Tomare, because he did that whole pass out thing too, like
yeah, like he blacked out.
so we'll see.
We
But
went to a fugue state.
That's right.
the one
Shouts
thing I
out
want to
Breaking
mention before
Bad.
we jump into the Forge, because this is pretty much all we're going to talk about the rest of the podcast.
Just tell me when to take my pants off.
Okay. Well, mine are off already. But no, I want to talk about the Looney Tunes started
Right.
this week. I'm a big Looney Tunes fan, and Looney Tunes comics have been going on for DC for a while now. But
I guess I was expecting more. Is what I was expecting.
see, I got more than I expected. I didn't realize how funny they were going to be. There was a point, like the panel I always refer to everyone is that like Bugs is like telling everything goodnight in his house, and he pulls up some carrots. They're like small, and they have like binkies and like bibs on. And he's like, and he looks at you from the panel. It says, "Baby carrots,"
And you can
puts
just
them back
hear it in your brain.
And I'm laughing so fucking hard. And then it's just cool because they made. Like I said, I'm a big Legion of Superheroes fan because it's. I don't know. There's an aesthetic value to it that's so cool because it's so out of continuity. It's so far in the future, but they made fun of every character.
This was like a lot of classic iterations of these guys too.
Exactly. This
Like-
was just fucking 70s.
Brainiac 5 was my favorite.
Oh
And
yeah, no,
he's just like, stop it with the angst. Like,
Yeah, like
they all. But there's so much making
I mean,
fun of.
I'm not saying that they're bad. I was expecting something with a little more like DC
I
substance
think
rather than
that
Looney
the
Tunes
Tasmanian
influence.
Devil one that comes out, I think
that
tomorrow.
looks serious, and so
I
does the
think
Elmer
that-
Fudd.
Exactly. I think those are where you're gonna find your.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well,
no,
do you know what I'm saying though? Like have a little bit more DC influence than
The Looney Tunes?
which Martian Manhunter kind of did.
I would say that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
The Martian Manhunter one was very strong on John. But
Which is great to see. Him
I
finally.
also like how when they referred to Marvin in the Martian Manhunter one, it was M.
Marvin, yeah.
Apostrophe ARVI. Like they,
yeah,
they
like the tradition. yeah.
Marvin.
yeah,
Marvin,
and
yeah.
I thought
That was cool.
So all I'm gonna say is that I really respect DC for doing that. Like it hit home for me because
And these
feel
are
like
just fun episodes to
I
kind
feel
of
like-
like break up from all the serious shit
Yeah.
that's about to go down.
I will never have a child, but if I had one, I would give him the Legion of Superheroes with Bugs Bunny because that book was just for that. Like it's a fanboy book. It
Here
feels
you go, small version of me.
Yeah,
Enjoy
like,
this.
Is
But-
Bam gonna have these issues? Because I
already took them all and put them in my private stock. But yes, we did get those.
That's why I couldn't find
They're
them.
in his humidor.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, we did.
Okay.
Comic Force at the new comic book store here in Branson, Missouri, at Branson Meadows has them.
Has that opened?
It's opened. It opened. It
Saturday.
opened last weekend.
Okay.
It's nice. It's cool.
What's their net title?
Comic Force.
Hashtag
Comic
that too.
Force. Okay. Do we know people that work there?
I met them. I spoke with them a little bit. I mentioned that we had a podcast, and he offered to have us come in and record there.
That would be cool.
Nice.
Tits.
So don't do that. All right. I hope they don't listen to this.
It's late.
It is late. We
right.
need to move on.
The fucking Forge, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay, Nick's
Pants
pants are coming out.
I'm just okay. You know what? I'm not gonna bullshit this. I'm gonna bring up panel to panel on this motherfucker.
Are you
No,
ready?
we don't have time for that.
All right.
No, we do.
Who wants to go over the story of this? Or
Let's
do we
fucking
want to
talk
take
about-
turns?
No. So it's Carter. I mean,
Carter
this
Hall.
is Carter fucking telling the story.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if anyone read Death of Hawkman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this Death of Hawkman is obviously, guess what?
The death of Hawkman.
Exactly.
Just so you know.
No!
So
They're
this
finally
is
stopping
basically
the
his-
reincarnation.
This is like his last. What would you define this as?
This is a letter. It's a last will / warning.
Last will. That's what the word I was looking for. So he's a kind of it's slight origin at a point.
Yeah.
For him.
It hits a little on the original Egyptian stuff of this, but basically what this comic is going down to is that nth metal runs everything, which is a welcome thing to me. I love that.
It's the vibranium of DC.
Nth metal. For those who don't know, it's a lot like Uru. For those of you who know Marvel properties, it actually has anti-magic
Yeah, I was gonna
properties
say
to it.
it's used to disrupt magic.
Yeah, and it's incredibly strong.
and
Thank you, Justice League. I love that show so much.
We also need to do a whole episode on DC AU.
We will.
But what I'm looking at it right now. So exactly. Nth metal is a very powerful. We already knew it was a powerful substance, but they want to make sure that's the dominant force in the
metal
verse.
is nth metal. That's
So
keep that in
we
mind.
jump to the Bermuda Triangle. Now this is where my questions open up. This Batman with a big bat suit that shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Is this our Batman? Is this the Batman we've been reading in Tom King's Batman from Rebirth?
That's a good question because we have a different looking Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of the thing.
And he.
Now I think this all is one Batman. I do
You think that that's the reoccurring element?
I do think this will all be one Batman since we have Duke.
Or do you think that this is in the future and this is an Aquaman that's past, where he just got kicked out of Atlantis? So
He
maybe
just got
he's just grown his
impaled.
hair out and
I think that this is after the Aquaman story that concludes.
I mean, we've
so
still
he's
got.
gonna be like,
I mean, we're looking at the panels.
obviously this is in the future. This is after jokes and riddles and all that crap.
Yeah. But we've got here with Hal Jordan. He is still having his little secret meetings underground.
Gambit looks metal as fuck in this, doesn't he? Look at
Yes.
how pissed he looks. I
know.
love it. I
Yeah.
wrote that in my little
I
journal
know.
too.
That was my thing, is that he looks like he knows something that he's not going to
Say the
tell
quote.
him.
Say the quote.
Wait, is his exact
Say
line?
what Ganthet says. Yes.
Hal Jordan of Earth, I am temporarily pulling you from active duty. I have a private mission for you of paramount importance. The mission must remain secret from your fellow Lanterns, particularly your fellow Earthmen. Like that line.
No, just the thing about they're stirring in the dark corners.
Oh, that's
of
the
the.
thing.
Oh no, it just like things are moving in the corners of the
Oh,
universe.
this one. Okay. There are rumblings in every corner of the universe, whispers of a stirring in the dark. A terrible truth is coming to your light of your home planet. This is the best part.
And
we must not let it.
that is so awesome. Oh, I love. Look, we're just smiling. I have my hands on my cheeks.
This is really a good issue. Like, okay,
It's
hold on.
good.
I gotta go to the beginning.
So good.
Is it literally just Snyder on this bitch?
It's Snyder and Capullo. No. Jim Lee does the art in this. That's why it's so good.
Is it just Snyder writing it though?
I think it's Snyder. No, I know it's predominantly Snyder.
Okay, but let's. Okay, this. God damn it!
This is
There's
gonna be the
left
other
out.
hour
Okay,
and a half.
So Hal is also. I gotta say, this is the Hal I know. I gotta say, Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps, the Hal we see, we don't get a lot of Hal because there's a lot of Green Lanterns to cover, so you don't get Hal as his full. This is fucking the Hal I want to see, like just quippy, smartass Hal, like whatever the fuck I want to do, I'm gonna do. And him just showing up at the Batcave, like I know this is not where I should be right now. Like because they say he's like, wait,
this is where the disturbance is. It's the Batcave.
exactly.
So he's like, no
He's
way.
like, because he knew the coordinates. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's like, that's fucking crazy. But then this is one thing. I'm a really big fan of We Are Robin, and Duke is a character I really enjoyed.
And Snyder created Duke, so that's like his baby, like how Bendis is with Miles.
Exactly.
In Marvel.
But when Duke just is like, dude, get the fuck out of here, and he kind of has a fight. Like, I mean,
Well, he's trying to be tough and everything, and I love the way that they do that because he's always like, this isn't your cave, it's time to leave. And it's like, okay, dude, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? Where's Batman? And he's like, Batman gave me instructions to not do that. And so he's like, okay, and just picks him up by the back. And he's like,
Well, I
your
think
ring-
it-
like
your
the
ring's
one
not-
rough
yeah.
of his neck.
Yeah,
almost.
your ring's
yeah.
not supposed to work on stuff that's yellow. He's like, I'm Hal Jordan.
He's like,
Nothing works
well,
on me.
he's got a
Who
quote-
are you?
he's
Stop
got a-
using that voice. Tell me who you are.
Duke says something like, "Not even family is allowed in here right now."
Yeah.
And so that means something in the Bat universe.
Yeah.
Is that Batman's got something that he really doesn't want
It's
anybody
too
the
big
fuck
for
else to know about.
anybody.
Okay, this is where my questions come in. That maybe someone can help me. This next panel is the part where it says it takes place beneath Philly.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that crew they're kind of assembling? They have like a picture.
They name them right there.
Well, it's the Immortal
the
Man. and
Immortal Man.
I think that's
What? Is that-
Carter Hall. I think that is. I'm not sure.
Is that who the old?
I think it is. I don't know. Because he reincarnates, obviously. So I'd like to think that it is him, but I don't know. I don't know who the hooded guy is. Do you recognize anybody in the viewing screen that Immortal Man has there? Like,
No, that's what I don't know. I don't know who
okay.
these people
I
are.
thought one
Like,
was Sandman. I need to do research tonight.
That's
But
okay. Well, if it's Sandman, Sandman's one of my favorite characters
But
in JSA.
but apparently
if it
there's-
is, that's the way different art.
Yeah.
I mean, art design.
now apparently in this there is some secret organization that's been guarding this nth metal secret for years and years and years, and this expands beyond Court of Owls. This expands
I was
beyond.
about to say they were bringing up the Court of Owls quite a bit.
Yes. Oh, and
I want to know what this giant metal Batman with people strapped to his legs is.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay, but that's one of Carter's flashback dreams.
Well, what happens is that he's
Barry
saying
shows
that
up and says it's all about her.
well, he's
Oh, wait,
he's oh yeah, Lois is the key. I mean, no. Basically, what happens is that with every incarnation, I guess there's like a little bit of in between, like a small segue,
What?
maybe like a commercial
Yeah.
or something, because supposedly of the synth metal, where he gets glimpses of another future or perhaps another universe, which in the multiversity there's 7 worlds they don't talk about, which kind of coincides with this.
Oh shit! I didn't even
But-
put that in perspective.
Yeah, but and so then we go back to Batman, and it's Batman goes to his lunar bat cave, which apparently
With
is
Mr. Terrific.
My motherfucking man, fair play, Mr. Terrific shows back up. I was like,
shit!
damn.
What's up, player? Them
I
T
was-
Spears came out, and he's
I
like, "What's up?"
Okay, that's my favorite thing is when they show like
I told
as
you
smart
Mr.
as-
Terrific could come back when they needed him.
exactly. And
Yeah.
the thing about Mr. Terrific, so for you, JSA fans or Justice Society fans, Mr. Terrific obviously had incantations.
This isn't Terry Sloan. This is the new one. This
Yeah.
is Michael Holt, the black
And
one
Michael Holt is
from
well, I
Justice
mean,
League Unlimited.
Wait, they use
Yeah.
Mr. Terrific in the Justice League Unlimited
Yeah,
show.
They use
They did.
everybody in Justice League
Yeah,
Unlimited.
they even pull out like Wanna Beast, like
Did
ridiculous
not
stuff like that.
know that, but okay.
Crimson Avenger. They even had fucking Spy Smasher in there. That's going way back.
I need to just apparently rewatch that
Yeah.
fucking TV show. But okay, when they had Mr. Terrific in there, I had no concept that this was gonna happen. So
It was a big surprise.
Yeah. So is this the guy from
Earth 2. This is Earth 2, like New Earth Michael
New
Holt.
Earth 2, or is this from like pre 52?
Whatever one went to Earth 2. Whichever one was Earth 2 Michael Holt.
Okay, well then that would be the most
The New Earth one.
recent one, yeah.
Because he, I guess, was immune from Flashpoint or whatever.
It's just
because
it's
he
just
wasn't
really
on planet.
crazy. But I mean, if there's a guy that teams up with Batman, it's this guy. He's the one of the smartest men.
There's a lot of guys that team up with Batman.
Well, I mean, for detective work.
Okay.
I mean, someone that's got a brain that can combat.
And now this could be New Earth Batman, even because we're talking about your multiversity.
Well, the funny thing is, I'm looking right
because
now.
it's the old school outsiders. Like we're talking like Katana and Black Lightning and all those dudes are like his special Black Ops team or whatever.
I'm looking at all this shit right now. Every single panel, he's got the purple. I know I make jokes about that, but he actually does have the purple cape on every single panel. So I think Nick's right in saying that our Batman is consistent in this. Maybe the universes aren't, but he is consistent.
I'm thinking this
But
is the same.
As we proceed, I think one of the best things is we get to go look at Batman's secret room.
His secret cave, yeah. But and just that's where we find
With the original, and they have the original Outsiders.
Yeah, and that's the one that they're talking about. Like, Batman has a Black Ops team. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, if he has one, and then like him and Mr.
And it's
Terrific,
actually the original lineup too.
him and Miss. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's the original lineup. That's why I thought like maybe it is like with New Earth elements. But anyway, they go to like this prison and they're all like, it's time to let him out. We thought he was too dangerous. Blah blah blah. And I called it. There he is. We hadn't seen him for so long. It's fucking Plastic Man. He is hiding in that little thing.
What?
That's Plastic Man's stuff right there. Like his little logo and colors and everything. Now, I think they're trying to fake you out with Mr. Miracle, but I'm telling you.
The one that opens up the door for Batman?
Yeah, Mr. Miracle.
Back, not forward.
That's Plastic Man. I'm telling you, that's Plastic Man.
No, it's fucking not.
I mean, they're making you believe.
What?
Well, what's he got to do with anything? What's he gonna do?
I don't know. Crack
You
jokes.
think that's Plastic Man?
I do think it's Plastic Man. I think that they're faking
I'm
you
not
out.
saying you're wrong, but you just changed my total perception of this issue.
Well, him and they have Mr. Miracle there, and he has the same color scheme. But I think that they're just trying to fake you out.
mislead it.
Yeah, which because he's like there's only one Mr. Miracle per universe, like because he's a new god.
Well, I didn't think that had anything to do with Mr. Miracle, but I don't think it has anything to do with Plastic Man either.
I don't get perception out here. Apparently, it says I do. I don't
Bomber
understand.
Solitude.
Sprint.
I mean,
Jesus,
that
it's
is his belt.
fucking symbol. Damn it, Nick.
Told
Fuck
you.
you. You're right.
See, they're faking y'all out.
Okay, now I have to read it for like the fourth time.
But there's nothing to read into.
Anyway, we go back to who do we go back to after the
Duke and Hal.
Okay, and
And
they
they see there's a lot of like little homage.
they're getting talked to by a disembodied voice. We all knew who this was gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so we go through another Carter flashback, and then this is one of my favorite parts, is Bruce visiting Clark.
Okay.
Mr.
Well,
Miracle?
anyway, I'm sorry. I want to go back a little bit and tell you like they have all this stuff about they're trying to explain the Electrum. Like this disembodied voice is saying that it's like, well, Batman figured that there's no metal on Earth that can do this, so he pulled a thread, and then he went back and noticed that they shared the same thing with a lot of magical properties, and they have like Wonder Woman's bracelets, Dr. Fate's helm, the Trident of Poseidon,
The Trident.
and then the whole Dionysium thing. When it was Dionysium, I know it's like, okay, this is who we're talking about. And apparently Dionysium is like melted nth metal or something, which I guess,
Well, hold on.
which is weird because this is going to cross over into the Lazarus pit. Like is going to,
They talk about it.
yeah. I've researched this thing so much. But yeah, so they have like a lot of little
fun.
little,
things,
yeah, like
But-
hints and pieces and stuff. And I
I
was like,
just-
oh, Scott, you knew what you were doing the whole time.
This is my favorite part though. When Batman's like, "Hey, Clark, what's up? Hey, you know that room you'd let me have at the bottom of the Fortress of Solitude? It's top secret."
That was the only stupid part I didn't like.
Oh, that's my favorite part. He's like,
Do you remember that room I told you to not see what I put in there and you said okay? Yeah.
like
I'm
no,
gonna need that open. It's like
no, I love that because it just shows like that weird like thing where like Superman's so good and he really does love Batman with all his heart, and he's like, "Sure, man, you could totally have a room at the bottom of the Fortress of Solitude." He's like, "Yeah, I don't want it open or anything. I just need a room." He's like, "Cool, bro."
and the cool thing is that Mr. Miracle, he's like when the new Flashpoint stuff came in, he was still the same Mr. Miracle. There's only one dark side per thing. There's only one
Only
new
one
god per everything.
yeah.
So he remembers everything.
But I just love that like he opens it. Well,
It's the dimensional tuning fork from Infinite Crisis.
like
Oh, I went fanboy whenever I saw it.
Yes, but
I was so excited.
why is it there?
Well, because it's the way to get other dimensions. Batman has noticed that this stuff.
No, but why is it there?
Because
why-
Batman put it there.
But why? How?
Because, like I've been telling you all night, Batman did not change during Flashpoint. I think there's a reason for that.
Batman has knowledge of everything, is what you're telling me.
No, I think that
Oh, is it because he was on the chair in Darkseid War?
that's it. I was gonna say
I
that
didn't even think about that. Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he probably
gotten-
does. Yep. No, you're right. Don't worry. I'm an idiot. Yep.
What's that got to do with
because
anything?
But it was the chair of knowledge. He knew
the
everything.
whole and this is just me trying to make sense of everything.
Didn't
I could
fucking
be
think
totally wrong. We're presuming Dr. Manhattan took 10 years from their life.
Yeah.
When Batman was on the chair of knowledge, ping, he remembered everything.
Everything was absorbed. Well, I mean, he even says that line. I think I know all, or something like that.
So he remembers a lot of shit. Like he probably doesn't remember everything because Dr. Manhattan is just so crazy
So
powerful.
are we assuming that the thing that happened before Rebirth happened after Rebirth?
his concept of time is all time.
Well, this happened before Rebirth. It's like the thing they're just trying to make
Then
sense.
how can he remember what Dr. Manhattan took from him if he hasn't been on the chair since before it happened?
Retcon. They're just retconning everything.
Yeah.
Is what they're doing here.
Okay.
But I mean,
It's
let's
a
talk
mindfucker.
about the last panel.
Okay. It turns
So
out.
it's the end game Joker.
Yeah, which I saw that coming. I knew that Joker.
Really? I didn't think about that.
If
I
Bruce
thought he
Wayne could
was
live through that
gone.
fucking thing, Joker could live through that whole thing. Like, but then again, this may be like a different.
No,
iteration of
it's the
Joker.
same Joker because this is the only Joker that it has been established. He knows that it's
Dionysian.
Bruce Wayne and he knows where the Batcave is.
That's true, but Batman locked him
Oh,
in this
yeah.
stupid door. You know.
Yeah, but I think he got
But
there
apparently,
himself.
he said we're just all pieces in Batman's little puzzle.
So
in
this is a
game.
random thing I gotta say. The numbers are all different on the wall.
Yeah,
Like, is that? I mean, I haven't
I'm
done
thinking.
He's probably just writing pi.
dimensions or like maybe even vibrational frequencies because Joker has that kind of super sanity where he just is kind of cosmically aware of everything. Like it's just his suspension of disbelief.
But-
kinda.
I just don't feel like we're gonna. As excited as we all are about this, God, I can't get over the Plastic Man
It
thing,
is-
Nick. You're killing me
it
with
is
that.
so good,
That
and
changes everything for me.
Okay, well anyway, I'm gonna follow that up. DC they released a press release on Friday, the 19th about kind of the follow up for Metal whenever it comes out.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm
There's
excited.
7 evil Batmen coming to this universe. Apparently, there is a evil Aquaman Batman. There's an evil Wonder Woman Batman.
What?
Yeah, it's something like some kind of like Amazonian crossover. There is an evil Flash Batman. There is an evil Doomsday Batman.
Wait, I mean, why would we even proceed past that? I mean, if there's a
Okay, here's my question. Does that mean
there's a Joker Batman too.
Does that mean they're going to one of the universes that we haven't seen yet? Is just a universe where everybody had a traumatic bad experience when they were children, and they all decided to be bad
I
people?
hope so. I really do. Or maybe this is just like some like evil Justice League of Batman. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I mean, it's exciting.
We're the evil Justice League of bats.
All right, we've
But-
talked too much this week.
Oh, but there's so much that needs to be said about it, and it's just so much. And I'm a
All I
happy
can
boy.
say is it's funny. I'm not a fan of All Star Batman, which Snyder is currently writing the Two-Face sort of adventure thing.
Well, it's going to start a new arc now since like they wrapped up the whole.
Getting Two-Face where you need to go.
Well, and it was Ra's al Ghul like doing a lot of stuff, but it's not bad. It's just Batman on the road.
It's just, but it's funny because this, like Nick said, I mean, this issue is just like really, really powerful. I mean,
It's
a
going to
lot
be hard
to
to
it.
beat this. You're going to have to work your ass off this one, Scott.
But I think they've all had their fingers in this. I mean, they're building towards this. And like the PR said this week, I mean,
They've been
September.
playing it up so big and like it. I mean, it looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, and the fact that using, like, I think they had 3 different artists on this for the different
and
stories.
just having Jim Lee on there just brings it so much credibility too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Like,
that
I mean,
shows
he's-
like okay, Marvel is all in with this. They're pulling out all the stops. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see like Alex Ross eventually of it.
if Alex Ross gets back to DC, doing like covers, I mean, They've won
when the Watchmen Justice League stuff pulls over, that would be so good.
Or if they had what's his Dave Gibbons, who's the guy that originally did Gibbons?
Yeah.
Man, if he jumps back in and does, I mean,
They could even have friggin' Frank Miller come in and like write a little material for it. That would be awesome.
Well, I gotta say, I still like that Master Race run he just did. I mean, it just shows that he's not out of the game yet.
No.
But all right, one last thing I want to mention. We need to end this podcast. We're going to sign off. But I was really, really happy about the Los Angeles bat signal.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was neat. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. It was nice.
I didn't see it.
For Adam West, they put the bat signal up in L.A. On was it the?
I think it was on the. It was whatever building owns like the CBS building or something.
It was
City Hall. It was City Hall.
City Hall.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They put the bat signal on for.
And it was like the '60s bat signal. So
it was just
it was
the
a nice
coolest
little
thing you could fucking.
It was
do.
a nice little nod. I mean, because that's just good, to do that. I really like that.
Yeah, it felt powerful. But all right, I'm Austin. We talked a lot this week, and next week, I got the list right here, but.
Is Cable 2 on next week?
No, and to tell you the truth, we got the only thing I see that's going to be the most prominent is the Weapon of Mutant Destruction. That new.
That sounds a corny title.
That does sound corny.
It's the whole tie-in with the Hulk and Weapon X shit.
It's like a song.
We get a new Batman, we get Superman,
We get Super Sons.
and then we get
new Super
Shirtless
Sons?
Bear Fighter 1. I'm just excited about that.
Shirtless Bear Fighter? He's taking his shirt off in this one?
Man,
you're kidding.
And then also
You
the
thought
start
Bear
of
Fighter was good.
this is where my erection begins. We get the new Dynamite series, Clue. Fuck you. I'm excited. Clue number 1.
I thought you were going to say Clueless.
No. And
Clue, actually, that'd be cool.
No, but no. It's
Are they going to have Tim Curry as the butler?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
He was the best part of that movie.
So-
that movie's good.
I'm anxious to see that. So
This is
all
how
right,
it
guys.
could really happen.
Austin, I'm done.
I'm Evan. So long and good night.
I'm Justin. Goodbye.
And I'm Mr. Nick. Go check out our social media. Smash that like button. Do whatever it is it takes to subscribe. Blah, blah, blah.
Do whatever it takes. If you didn't pay your internet bill, pay it. And go to our website, www.
We got new stuff coming out all the time, so be
Yes.
sure to check it. We tweet maybe once every few days. So
Fuck yeah.
Bye.
Bye.